Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. My name's Tony. I am your host, and this is a impromptu Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday daylight savings time live conversation, post-cruise wrap-up about my latest cruise on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. And a big welcome to everybody. Welcome to, thank you for being here on a Sunday. And we haven't been live in a bit just because of all the cruising. And I just thought it'd be fun to come and catch up and see what the heck you guys are into. Happy to answer all your questions. I know I put out a couple videos that, you know, they're getting a little bit mixed reviews. Some people are worried, and so I just wanted to pop my lovely face on live so that you could pepper me with your questions. You could delve into my mental well-being, and you could come away with whatever you come away with. So welcome, welcome, welcome. That's the welcome. We'll talk all things cruising, anything that you guys want to talk about. And the way that it works is I will definitely be jumping into the comments and answering your questions and saying hello. But make sure I'm looking at the comments. If you're new here, type new in capital letters by your name, or if you have a question, type the word question in front of your question with capital letters so that I can identify it, and we will go from there. First and foremost, let me just give a little bit of a soliloquy. Let me just give a little bit of a speech about the Wonder of the Seas. I did release a video yesterday telling you about the things that I was disappointed about, and that video was really about a couple things. It was about learning what it's like to go on an inaugural cruise, or a first sailing cruise, or a shakedown cruise, or whatever we want to call it. It was the first cruise of the world's largest cruise ship with paying passengers out of the United States, however that's qualified, and I learned some things. And the big takeaway for me is I learned that as somebody who only wants to do a cruise ship one time, because I want to Pokemon the cruise ships, I want to collect them all, as somebody who intends to only do the cruise ship one time, I should wait until everything is there that I want to be there. Now, certainly during COVID times, that wasn't possible. I very purposefully cruised on the Harmony of the Seas during the height of Omicron to see specifically what wasn't there, and I poorly set my expectations. I heard that the Wonder of the Seas was coming out. We'd booked it before I even realized it was the first sailing. We'd booked it because it was for Jenny's birthday. It was Jenny's birthday cruise, and I had, again, I feel like it was my fault because I set my expectations too high. I thought that when one of these new sailings came out that there would be a big push for everything to be spectacular. And of course, you guys helped me out along the way. We're all learning a lot of this cruise life together. A lot of people told me post me going on Wonder of the Seas, like information I could have used beforehand, that most everything's not going to be good. And so that's what I found out, and I did share my disappointments, and I hope you guys appreciate my honest opinions. There's some people that seemingly from their comments would have just wanted me to lie to you all and tell you everything is puppy dogs and rainbows, but if you've been around long enough, I would rather default to honesty than to blow smoke. Where smoke should not be blown. So I hope you enjoyed the honest review there, and I do appreciate the fact that we have different opinions and those kind of things, and I would hope that you would appreciate that also. But I liked a lot of the Wonder of the Seas. It's the next ship in the Oasis class. My favorite cruise ship is the Oasis of the Seas still, because I got all the things on that cruise ship, and my favorite class of cruise ships is the Oasis class, and so it was wonderful that way. It was the nice big wide promenade. It was the big cruise ship that had all of the cool spaces and all of the cool things, and I enjoyed it. The cabin was nice. It was beautiful. It was brand new, and I said that in my disappointment video, but again, sometimes people only hear the hard stuff and they don't hear the good stuff, so I'll reiterate it here. I really enjoyed the hardware. I enjoyed the ship. I enjoyed the experience. The crew was off the chain, but the things that I really like about those cruise ships, the entertainment, the aqua show, those kind of things were lacking, and that left me a little disappointed, and it gave me some enlightenment about inaugural cruises or first sailings or shakedown, whatever we want to call it. Of course, there's that. All right, so with that said, with that being in the mix, and I've also gone a couple other cruises, the Norwegian, it wasn't a Norwegian ship, the Sun Princess, the Sky Princess, what was it? The Princess Sky, the Sky Princess, and also on the Celebrity Apex in this time frame, since we've had a lot of conversation. If you have any questions about any of that or any of all things, just let me know. Well, I'm gonna jump down. Big shout out to the Blue Crew. A lot of the Blue Crew just came off of their own cruise. They were on the Celebration, and I know they all had a good time, but a big shout out to the Blue Crew. These are the folks keeping the room safe. Of course, we're up for some lively debate. Just make sure that you're respectful and you're not using curse words and you're not being mean to anybody, or the Blue Crew will smack you around in a way that you need to be smacked. But what's up, Tinkerbell, Scott McNeil? I don't know who else is here from the Blue Crew. Chuck Spencer is here. Tinkerbell, Scott McNeil, Chuck Spencer. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody on the Blue Crew. Okay, I'm gonna slide down to the bottom and start answering some questions. We have a super chat from George in Atlanta. Hella appreciative of the content. You share the news and reviews. Then it's up to us to filter and experience. Then it's up to us to filter and experience on our own. Very helpful info. My reading will quickly come to me, but it's been a week or so. Thank you for the super chat, George, and thank you for really, look, to me, I look at this as a little bit of a dance, right? It is the community. I'm here trying to build community. I'm trying to bring community together. I'm trying to safeguard the community, and so anybody that wants to play well with others in the community, you're welcome. And look, I've had some interesting conversations over the last couple days. People have said, oh, I don't like how negative you are, you need to do better, and so I am doing better. You know, if there's a comment out there, if there's a commenter that just kind of isn't a very good commenter, like their comment's not very good, I've been helping correct those situations too. So it's been fun in the comments, let me just say that. But I think George points it out well. I am here to give you that Tony filter. I think you guys know that, and if you're here for it, then that's good. And if you're not here for it, well, please watch anyways. How about that? All right, George, thank you so much for the super chat. And let me bring in my co-host today. I don't have a co-host today, but I do have Harry Larry Loca Lucha for a thank you with the super chat.
Super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. David Bartash, thank you so much for the super chat. At least it wasn't Jurassic Park. If you remember, people were eating during that inaugural. At least it wasn't Jurassic Park. If you remember, people were eating during that inauguration event. That is very true, David. And just a reminder, I'm sure you have a good grip on reality, but that was fake, just so you know. But your super chat's super real, so thank you very much. Nancy Moore, thank you for the super sticker. Keep it up.
Super chat.
Yeah, my favorite thing is some of the comments are like, well, you know, you would have, at least you weren't on the Titanic inaugural cruise. I have trouble making jokes about events where like a lot of people died, but it's easy how maybe enough history passed where you can like make fun of thousands of people dying. I'm not there yet, but kudos to anybody in the comments who was able to use Titanic for humorous effect. How about that? Question: do you plan on going on the new Discovery Princess? Look, we've got 6 cruises booked right now. 5 of them are group cruises that we have already scheduled for the rest of 2022 and 2023. I have put the hold on any. Well, you know, we do it together, but I am not right now. I'm not looking to set up any group cruises in 24 and beyond. And so like I said in the video today, I want to be super intentional about my cruising because I don't need to be first. That's not really what, you know, I'm doing. I've seen a few comments like, oh, everybody wants to be. That again, we went on the Wonder because it was Jenny's birthday. I wasn't trying to be the first out of the gate or anything like that because it's not necessarily what I need to do. You guys are here waiting for the Tony filter, and I don't have to be first, and I'm thankful for that. So I want to be really intentional. So yeah, we don't have Discovery Princess on the docket for anything. Let's see. Bobby New, where are you from in Indy? So I lived in Indianapolis 1971 to 1976. We lived on Falcon Drive, which is in Speedway. I don't know much about Indy beyond that, but it's been a while. It's been a while. Let's see. Moonshine Jennifer, is this live influenced by Starbucks? Well, I'm only this much into it. I haven't really had a nap or anything today, so it's just been a nice chill day. We returned the rental car. Man, we got 2 Ford rental cars in a row. I think it's a sign from above. We never really considered buying a Ford, but the temptation is there. There was something with Tinkerbell that's made me think about buying a Ford. And then right after all those conversations with Tinkerbell, the first rental car back to Florida was a Ford Edge, which was really nice. And then we met a very kind gentleman on the Wonder of the Seas, and he was really talking up the Ford Edge, not knowing that's what we had driven. And then on the way home, we had this really nice white with black interior, leather interior Ford Explorer, and pretty nice. I don't know. Yeah, we gotta look deeper into that. But yeah, any Ford lovers out there? Brenda Rizzardi, thank you so kindly for the super chat. Shaboom. Question: do people who test positive on the cruise ship still have to isolate in a different cabin than what they purchased? So Tali, I do not have any experience with anybody. Like, I don't know. I couldn't point to somebody who tested positive. My understanding, and this is what I believe to be true, the cruise ships, they all have their own set of isolation quarters. So it wouldn't make good sense to all of a sudden say I was on deck 7 and say the people right next to me tested positive and now they've got to quarantine and isolate their room. Their door was right next to my door. So I can't imagine a scenario where you would have people that aren't isolated right next to people who are isolated, because they do the whole hazmat and all that stuff. So my assumption, again, and I know this is just me assuming, I know that cruise lines were required to set apart isolation areas, and I'm assuming that they're moving people to those isolation areas. So wherever those isolation areas are, it could be that you go from a nice balcony to an interior cabin because isolation is somewhere else. Hopefully that answers your question. Question, which would you prefer, Celebrity Millennium class or Oasis class? Sacco, what ship is in the Millennium class? I've been on the Equinox, and I've been on the Edge, and I have been on the Apex, and I've been on the Oasis, the Harmony, and now the Wonder. I would still choose the Oasis over any of those celebrity ships, primarily because of the entertainment. And I like the big ships. You know what? I did not like on the Apex now that I went from the Sky Princess to the Apex to the Wonder, and again, Royal proved to me how I love the open promenade atrium setup opposed to a traditional atrium. On the Apex, they had a nice round atrium with a chandelier and a bar, pretty traditional, and then they had all the different levels, and then they had all the restaurants next to it, but all the restaurants were open. So when the band was getting funky on the Apex and you're trying to have your nice romantic dinner of 6 in the steakhouse with Tinkerbell, because it was her anniversary also, and our friend Don and our other friend JLo, you couldn't hear each other talk because of the funky bass line coming out of the atrium. I didn't like that. But I did, so going from the Apex and then on to the Wonder of the Seas, I still like the promenade model. And everybody's like, well, doesn't it look like a shopping mall? And I'm like, well, I've never seen a piano bar in a shopping mall, but oh, sure enough. But yeah, I do like it. So I would be picking the Wonder of the Seas, I'd be picking the Oasis class over the Millennium class. Good question. Rad Pitt, is your brother Brad Pitt? I bet you it is. How was the dice on Wonder? Man, it wasn't good. It was up and down. I think out of the 7 nights, I had 2 winning sessions. It was a brand new table. It was a weird experience, actually, to know that I was one of the first people to play on that dice table. The table was slick. The chips were slick. It was just not gritty at all. But man, it was fun. We had a good time. There were a lot of real fun craps players there. The crew was really awesome. It was a good gambling experience, except for the losing, which is always the case. The losing makes gambling less fun, but I did get a free bottle of wine, which is nature's salve. Fermented, grape juice is nature's salve when you lose a few bets. But no, look, I never gamble with more than I'm willing to lose, and it's part of my entertainment, but I still like winning better than I like losing. But I had a good time with the Fates on the Wonder of the Seas. Thank you for the super chat. Super chat, you're super chatty. What's the major difference between the Wonder of the Seas and the other Oasis class ships? Subtle differences. They moved the Windjammer down a level, redesigned it. It was nice. El Loco Fresh is where the Wipeout bar was. This was an interesting change. You could so we had the premium non-alcoholic beverage package, which included specialty coffees from the Royal Cafe, the Promenade Cafe. But what they did is they put all Starbucks drinks on that cafe. So you could go to the standalone Starbucks and pay $6 for a white chocolate mocha, like a large white chocolate mocha, which would not be included in your beverage package. Or you could go get the exact same drink from the Royal Promenade, and it was included in the beverage package. So that was an interesting change. That's a change they're just making on Wonder of the Seas that they're going to roll out. The tragic thing for me is they did not make this drink at the Royal Promenade Cafe. And so if I wanted the drink that I like to drink, I had to pay the $6, which I didn't like that. Because I had the package. And so toward the end of the week, I started drinking some hot coffee because I was like, this is stupid. Why am I paying this? I shouldn't be paying this. Let's see. We've got some anti-Ford people. There's always that. I know Ford, I've heard some negative stuff about Ford in the past. Laura Allen, thank you so kindly for the super chat. Hello, Tony. Have some coffee on me. Have a drink on me. Thank you very much. Let's see, other super chats. Betty and Jeff Janicki, what's going on? We're going on the MSC Seashore next month. Have you been on it? Do they still require a COVID test 48 hours in advance? I've not been on it. I haven't heard of any cruise lines that are not requiring COVID tests 48 hours, at least 48 hours in advance. So I think you will still need to be tested. But Seashore, I believe it's, look, I enjoy the hardware on MSC, the Seaside, beautiful ship. I enjoyed the Meraviglia. There's no craps table on there, but I've also enjoyed the Divina. Sometimes we get in trouble a little bit with the entertainment and the food on MSC, but for the price, you can't beat it. I think you're probably gonna have a great time. Let's see. Ryan Delolio. Hope I said that right. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the content. Do you like the assisted buffet or miss the old style? I'm fine either way. The only thing that's annoying is everybody's got their own vibe of how many potato wedges they want, right? And so if you get shorted on your potato wedges a little bit, it's like, well, I want some more potato wedges. And so you just hate to be annoying. The only thing I dislike is the conversation about how much you want. But I think it's good. And again, everybody's not touching all the food weird. The other weird thing that happens is sometimes they put food out that you can handle, and there's not always a clear delimitation as to what's the food that you can handle and what's the food that you cannot handle. And so sometimes you're like, oh, can I touch this? Can I not touch this? And then if you make that assumption and you start to touch it, and I'm just saying touch it the regular way, like you're supposed to touch it with a tongue or, that kind of thing, and then you weren't supposed to touch it and people are like, oh, you're not supposed to touch that, then that's kind of that. Fishy McNeil, did counting calories hinder your enjoyment of Wonder of the Seas? I don't count calories. I'm on the WW program, and so no, it did not. So we count points over there. It did not. I think I lost another 2 or 3 pounds. So I've gone through all of this cruising, and I'm still down. So all of it's good. Like in my mind, part of the work that I'm doing on myself is, deprogramming my mind to be so connected to food. And so I really kind of made it transactional. Am I hungry? Basically I just skipped breakfast. I would get coffee, I would do my work, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat till 1 or 2 o'clock after the work is done, and then I'm only going to eat a lunch and dinner. Now, if I wanted to have late night pizza, I just wouldn't eat dinner. And so, it worked out. I walked a ton, I lost some weight, I tracked my food, I stayed under my points. It's beautiful. And I tried to make food less important. A lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you get a bunch of specialty dining? Why didn't you get the dining package? 2 reasons I didn't get the dining package. 4,200 people on this cruise ship, and unless you were on and booking your dining early, it was troublesome to get any kind of dining reservations for specialty. We didn't get on until 2 o'clock. That was a challenge. And so, I wanted to be able to go to the buffet and pick out whatever food I wanted without being saddled with these big meals that I felt obligated to eat because I paid for it. The last night, though, everybody had been talking up the mason jar, and so we went over there and we were able to talk to the maitre d' and say, look, we don't have a reservation. Can you sneak us in somewhere? Fit us in, whatever. And they were able to get Jenny, Don, and I in, and we did try the mason jar, but I wasn't, I would have been fine not trying that. So that's a good question. Our door rang, and I don't know that Jenny ever got it. Hold on a second. 2 seconds. I just recalled we had our weekly food delivery at 5 o'clock. And so I was just making sure Jenny knew about it. It's all out front. So if you swing by our house right now, you can get some of our food. How about that? All right. What were we saying? Question, now that Canada has released its protocol, any cruise lines giving updates for requirements for Alaska sailings from Crazy Cat Traveler? I did see that not a lot. I saw a couple cruise lines saying that they were good to go. I haven't dug into it very much. Part of the challenge of being on that cruise ship was it was really hard to do research for cruise news. And so I got to get into it tomorrow. Like, we're going to get hot and heavy back into the cruise news. And one of those things is, how are things going with Canada? All right, I'm just scrolling to make sure I didn't mean anything. Don's family vacation. Don finally got home. He's still concerned that I'm not going to Greece. Let's just tell Don that I am going to Greece. Don't tell him that I'm not really going to Greece, but we'll say yes, that we are going to Greece. It was fun being with Don for like 3 weeks, though, which is nice. We had a good time, and it's always good. Don's probably, Don's definitely my best YouTube friend, so it was certainly fun to hang out and cruise with Don. Yeah, that's right. I had to go. The Flanagans are in the house. What's up? Can you hang out in the mason jar at the bar and listen to music? So Heather, I think yes, because they would display that the band was going to be in the mason jar. So I would certainly think so. MJM2, thank you for the super chat. I hope I didn't miss anybody else's super chat. Maybe if the Blue Crew is keeping track, you can tell me. But thank you guys for the super chat. Tia Charles loves her Ford Edge. Yeah, it was a fun drive, I tell you that. Question, can I tell a joke? Yes, I can. Especially funny ones. Let's see. I wish I was dead, but instead I'm married. Aw, don't feel like that. Socially, Mia G. Have I ever been on the Carnival of Valor? It was my first cruise. We've never been on the Carnival of Valor. What was my count? Oh yeah, did you guys like my high-tech spreadsheet today? 8 Carnival cruise ships. I don't know which ones those are. I think a lot of them were fantasies. Till Vane, I will not tell a joke unless one comes to me. Question, is the Greece trip a new ship, which reinforces not best choice for you? I don't think it's the very first sailing of the Beyond. And so I don't think it's brand new, but I think it's like within the first 5 cruises, and it does give me pause, honestly. That cruise is super expensive. I hear that in July, Greece is super hot, and my decision not to go has been reinforced. I think it's the pleasant outcome of that is knowing that we were going to cancel Greece. I wanted to do something with Don, and so I think it's probably worked out perfectly, because now I'm getting more and more interested in the Panama Canal. I'm going to read the David McCullough book, The Land Between the Seas or whatever. I'm going to do the homework, and I am actually getting kind of stoked to go cruising on the Panama Canal, and I hadn't been like that before, so I'm excited about that. How does Oasis stand up to Wonder of the Seas from your perspective? Oasis is better. They had a Broadway show. They had a full aqua show. They had, and the ship was essentially the same size and had all the goodies. Now, I haven't been on Oasis since it got refurbished, but I know they have a portside barbecue. They also have a karaoke lounge, karaoke room. And so in my mind, after being on both, if I was recommending it to people purely on the fact that there's a Broadway play on Oasis, and I don't suspect right now that there's going to be a Broadway show on Wonder, I would tell people to go on Oasis of the Seas. How much was my final bill? I don't mind you asking. I just don't know the totals. Like I ballparked that $3,600. But yeah, I don't know what the final bill was. Jenny gets all that and pays all that. So it was multiple thousand. Like I had to put gas in the rental car today. That was $70. So that rental for 2 days was like $340 and then $70. So that was $400 right there. So it was a little pricey. Stephen Z, how was the food overall? I saw the view that the Windjammer looked interesting. It was fine. The problem is we came off of 2 cruise lines that really do the buffet well. The buffet on the Sky Princess was incredible, and the buffet on the Celebrity Apex also incredible. So yeah, the Royal Buffet not as strong as those 2, but it was good. There were good selections. It was really cool on the first day. They hooked everybody up with a lot of shrimp and lobster and steaks, and it was all great. But as the week progressed, I would say it had less selection than the Apex and the Sky Princess. But again, that's not really a fair comparison. I don't think those are in the same class of ships. But yeah, it was good. And then I finally got to go over to Coco Cay and try the secret chicken sandwich for the first time. Don and I walked over there to one of the snack shacks and had the secret chicken sandwich and a funnel cake. And I understand why people are raving about it now. I liked it. Chicken sandwich with mozzarella sticks and marinara sauce. It's good stuff. First Sergeant Richard, on Oasis in 21 days. We'll enjoy it for both of us. Thanks for all the videos over the last month. Oh, you're welcome, First Sergeant Richard. Thank you for the super chat, and I am confident you will be enjoying that Oasis ship. Okay, I'm at the bottom again. Question, would you recommend Princess over Royal? It depends what you want, Anita. I mean, like if you want the flow rider and the rock wall and the zip line and laser tag, you got to choose Royal. And if you want an aqua show and an ice skating, you got to choose Royal Oasis class. If you want some really good shows and you want really probably, I think, the best technology at sea and really good food, I would choose Princess. So it depends what kind of vibe you're going for, what you're looking to get into, where you're looking to go. If you're going down to the Caribbean, one of the best private island stops would be Coco Cay. You can't get that on Princess. So it's about how you're cruising, but both have their advantages. Let's see. Wu-Tang, any millennials on here? What year is the millennials? I think I'm pretty full on Gen Z, but I think I got some kids that are millennials. Like, well, I'm just going to make a bad joke. Never mind. I was like, I got some kids that don't want to work. Does that qualify them as millennials? I'm just kidding. All my kids want to work. It just, there was your joke, whoever was asking for the joke. Question, what cruise line would you recommend for a milestone birthday cruise? Princess or Celebrity? We like gambling, good food, and good entertainment. Which milestone? Like, I don't know, Princess or Celebrity? You like gambling, good food, and good entertainment. I gotta give it to Princess these days. Like, if I'm stacking up that Princess cruise versus that Celebrity cruise, they were both super chill in their vibe, which was nice. Celebrity beat them on entertainment that week. They had 3 really good shows, and the comedian was bang on. But the overall Princess experience was really enhanced because of the technology of the medallion, the ability. I know this is so subtle and so simple, but when it comes to like ordering a drink or ordering room service, you're not tethered to your cabin for room service. You're not tethered to your own cabin phone. You can go most everywhere on the cruise ship and push a couple buttons on your app, and they'll track you down and give you your room service or give you your next drink. I mean, I know not everybody's like down with the technology, but the way that they're doing it there on Princess really enhances that cruising experience. So I think you're going to get all those things. You're going to get good food. You're going to get good entertainment. A lot of great live music on Princess. I would go Princess over Celebrity. Let's see. Minnesota Mickey, oh Mickey, you're so fun, you blow our mind. Hey Mickey, hey Tony, just what's up with the Sunday live? Keep doing it. It's just impromptu, you know. We missed Tuesday, and I'm glad to be back. I put out some content that has had mixed reviews. Some people are excited, some people are not. So I thought it'd be fun to get out in the middle amongst everybody and see what the questions are, and maybe help clear up some misunderstandings. Pika, what's up, girl? Hey, what up, Tony? Did they say when the intents and the effectors will be fully ready? I'm on 4-1. So Victor Key is only going to be at that intent show for 2 weeks. And so that says to me that after 2 weeks, the intent show should be good to go. Again, the reason they said that they couldn't practice the show is because during the transatlantic, the water would slosh too much, and so they couldn't keep a consistent depth in the dive pool, which is fine. But Victor Key only going to be there for 2 weeks, so I think Intense is probably ready to go. Nobody was really given an, you know, I think there was a special presentation on Infectors, which I don't think I was invited to. I don't know when that thing's supposed to go live. That's going to be another big show, and so hopefully soon. But I don't know, Pika. You have to tell me on 4-1 whether they got it ready. Question, is the food included on Coco K? Yes, the food is included. They have a couple big buffets over there, and then they also have the little snack shacks. It's good stuff. I think the food that's not included is that Captain Jack's that I went to. You have to buy the chicken wings, but you can get a lot of included food over there, which is good. IFL Majority says to buy a Rolls Royce. I understand that the upkeep on that is hard, so I'd hate to outlay all that cash and have to, you know, like parts be expensive. So I'm trying to find a nice balance between a car that's reasonable. Let's see. Baboon's Grin. Yeah, Sunday live. Is everybody freaking out? You know we can go live any day we want. How about that? No Jazz on 4, Dina Mo. I was exactly the same thing. One of my favorite things on Oasis. So the first time we went on, I'm way too nostalgic about it. We saw Cats one night, and then they mentioned in passing that the second night, some of the major singers from Cats would be doing a jazz ensemble in Jazz on 4. And probably one of my favorite things, small club experiences on a cruise ship, was watching those big voices in a little jazz ensemble on Jazz on 4. On this ship, it was interesting. So, you know, I don't know when the ship is going to Asia. You hear things, this ship's built for the Asian market. I was in the casino. Half the casino was smoking, half the casino was non-smoking. They had ionizers built into the columns that allowed that to happen. So you could walk, half of the bar set on the non-smoking side in the casino, the other half set on the smoking side, and as you walked, there's no walls, nothing like that. As you walked, you could get hit with a wall of smoke almost at that midway point of the bar. Now, what I understand is if it does go to Asia, the whole casino will become smoking, and then they have this little room where like the Jazz on 4 was, and that's exactly the same size, that is a non-smoking casino. They have everything in that non-smoking casino except a craps table. So they've got like roulette and blackjack, all these slot machines, cashier, the whole nine. That's going to be the only non-smoking casino. But yeah, it was wild. But that room was barely used, and it was a bummer that it was not a Jazz on 4. Question, Disney versus RCL. RCL all day long. Unless you got to be a Disney fan to go on Disney, and I'm not an anti-Disney fan. I love Marvel and Star Wars and the properties that they bought, but yeah, no way. I would go RCL all day. Yeah, it travels with WNA. The smoking, if it's not contained, like we've been on ships before where we stayed like 2 decks up from the casino, but near the elevator, and you could smell smoke coming out of the elevator. Let's see. Question, how often are shows changed on cruise ships, Grandma Sarah, and remote northern eastern Montana. Beautiful country up there because I've been watching Yellowstone, and it makes me want to go to Montana. Yeah, I don't know how often the shows are changed. Like I've seen, we were talking to some entertainment folks one time, and I felt like it was like a 2-year cycle on some cruise ships, and then we heard other cruise ships that were 4 years. And so I think once they put the effort in to get a big show, they'll run it for a while. But then when you get new stuff like this, Effectors 2 coming out, obviously a new show. This is pretty good. Question, going on Princess for the first time next month. Any advice? Yeah, Princess, make sure you get yourself acquainted with the International Cafe. That's a nice place that if you don't want to eat a lot, or if you don't have time to go to the main dining room or something like that, that's a 24/7 spot where they have coffee and they have sandwiches and soups and sweets, and it's really a nice spot on the Princess if you want some sort of alternative for food. If you go on the cruise ship and there is the pizza place that Alfredo's, don't miss that. Usually you can get pizza in a couple places on those Princess ships up on the Lido deck, but Alfredo's, if they have it, go to the game shows. They do game shows really better than, or as good as any other cruise line that I've been to. Anything that's labeled Princess Live, yes, no game show, it's all really nice. The one thing that I really enjoyed on the Sky Princess is they had steel drum classes, which I'd never really seen anywhere else. I learned how to play the steel drum, or just follow along in a steel drum class. So there's a lot of interesting things to do there. And then yeah, use your medallion, explore your medallion to the fullest. It can do a lot of stuff. It can open the doors. It's really cool. Do we do anything special for Jenny's birthday on board? No, midships, the whole thing was kind of Jenny's birthday on board. The last night we did all get together and we go to the mason jar, but I got to figure out something different to do for Jenny because, again, and this on this ship more than any other ship, we were recognized. And so it was hard to go anywhere on the cruise ship. Whenever we were not in our cabin, we were mostly engaging with other people. And so even if we walked together, we couldn't really go anywhere without being stopped. And so that was awesome on a lot of levels because it shows that the community's out there and that they care about what we do and they care about us. And we spent a lot of time meeting a lot of great people. But from a Tony and Jenny doing something special, it made it very hard to do anything with just us because it just wasn't really possible. So I think I got to find something different special to do for Jenny for her birthday. But it was good. I think she had a good birthday. Question: first time booking let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Neil Parsi, Neil, I don't think did I say thank you for the super chat? Neil, thank you for the super chat. Neil and Jocelyn, and I did get Pika's super chat. I'll just scroll back up through here, make sure I didn't miss any because I know the chat goes quickly. There's Pika, Minnesota Mickey. Sometimes I get rambling. Okay, yeah, I think I got all the super chats. Thanks everybody for the super chat, and I'll slide back down and answer some more questions. Talk more about those who were comped versus you paying full price. I don't know who was comped and who paid full price. I know there was like media on board. They had media events and stuff like that. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's an invite or if you reach out to PR and you become part of that. I just wanted to make it clear because I'd seen a lot of people in the comments going, "Oh, what are you complaining about? You got a free cruise." I just wanted people to know that we paid. So there might be other people out there saying that they got comped, or they may be saying that they all paid. So again, I don't know who got paid, who didn't get paid, that kind of thing to be on the cruise. So I just know that we didn't. Question: do you think content and demeanor have a tendency to become a bit stale if vloggers cruise too frequently? I think the freshmen and the excitement may wane. I still appreciate you though. Brad, I don't know. Like, I see a lot of people making a lot of great content. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I guess the audience will determine whether the content is stale or wane or whatever. And being a creator and trying to come up with content strategy, it's really an interesting, it's interesting concept. Like when I went on the Wonder, I thought, man, I'm going to try to be a vlogger again. And I vlogged for the first day and I realized that's really just not who we are anymore. We're not cruise vloggers. Life has changed over the last couple years, and I'm very content creating something from nothing every day with the hopes of entertaining and educating and maybe getting a laugh and keeping a positive vibe going. I really like doing the show. And so for me, on a cruise, off a cruise, it doesn't really matter. I think the stillness of my show is really about how creative I can be on a daily basis, and that's the challenge I like. That's the challenge I'm excited to accept. And sometimes when I'm on a cruise, I get some extra cool things to show you. I get to show you the office, that kind of thing. But for me, the mission of the show doesn't really change much on a daily basis. What's interesting in cruising? What are people like talking about? What are you guys interested in? And how can I put the Tony spin on it in a way to evoke conversation? And hopefully, like, you know, like if you take anything away from my disappointed video yesterday, I hope the takeaway is think twice about cruising on a first sailing or an inaugural cruise, that kind of thing. The whole point of that was to promote conversation. The video I made the other day, my cruise kind of sucks, should I complain? That whole conversation was about whether or not, if your cruise experience wasn't good, whether you should say something or not. And so to me, it's interesting, you know, maybe it's not fair, but to me, it was interesting taking in all those comments of people saying, yeah, say something, don't say something, do it, don't do it, and then comparing those with when I did say, when I got home and was able to evaluate and say, these were the things that I was disappointed about. It's interesting to see that conversation. So I was interested in that from a community perspective. But again, you know, it's up to each one of us to make our content as appealing to as many loyal followers and new followers as possible, and that's the creative challenge. So I don't think it matters. At least it doesn't matter to me whether I'm here or on a cruise ship. It's just it's all the same challenge. Hope that answers your question. That's a great question. I love talking about that kind of stuff. I know that's not what everyone wants to talk about, but I could talk YouTube all day. Laura, thank you so much for the super chat. Which cruise line had the most comfy bed? I love me a soft bed. Thank you in advance. Well, because I was staying up till 2 or 3 o'clock every morning and getting up at 7 or 8 o'clock every morning, I slept a lot, like hard, everywhere that I went, because I knew I only had a few hours of sleep to get. I didn't love the position of the bed on Wonder because we got to figure out how to book this in advance. Some rooms have the bed next to the closet and you have an open run to the balcony, and then some rooms have the bed in front of the balcony. I don't like the bed in front of the balcony. I like the bed in front of the closet. And so, and I was sleeping next to the balcony, and so I had like a little sliver to walk around on the bed. I think the bed was pretty comfortable though. I think Celebrity may have had the most comfortable bed and pillows. But I slept hard on all of those, so I slept well on all those, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Cindy, the family cruiser. Thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Betty and Jeff, have you heard anything more about the person who jumped from the NCL ship today? I pulled up cruise news earlier, like, oh, maybe I should talk about some cruise news. And then as soon as I did, I was like, oh, maybe I should just wait until tomorrow and start prepping the show. All I saw was probably the same story that you guys saw, that there was a report of somebody jumping off the NCL ship, and they're trying to find them. So that's sad, 100% sad. That's all I heard, though. Let's see. Wu-Tang Life looks like RCL and NCL are going to be at 50%. I don't know if that's a question about capacity, but man, we had 4,200 out of close to 7,000 potential on the Wonder, so that was pretty good. I heard that the sprinkler went off on the promenade deck. Were you there when it happened? I was in the buffet. I just ordered a Diet Coke. And so I was waiting for the Diet Coke. I wasn't going to leave. I'd finished my lunch and I wanted a Diet Coke to go. And a couple walked up to me and they said, man, it's going crazy down on deck 5. There's water flowing everywhere. I haven't seen anybody down there. You got to go down there and check it out. So I waited for my Coke, my Diet Coke. When I got there, I rode the elevators, and when the door opened on deck 5, you could hear water. And so I turned, you can't see the promenade. You can only see the elevator across from you. And I turned right, and man, sure enough, you look down the promenade and it was like a deluge. It was like raining down there. I don't know 100% what happened. And then there was a crowd there. Everybody was filming. Hey, here's a tip. And I got offered some footage. And again, it was a non-story to me because I recognize this stuff happens on inaugural cruise. I don't want people to think that I am, once I was there and I realized that things weren't going to be perfecto because it was their first cruise, I wasn't going to dog them out too much. It's the funny thing. Everybody got a pass on dogging them out on the sprinklers accidentally going off, but I say I'm bummed out because there's no Broadway show and people are like, oh, you're unreasonable. Really? All right. So anyways, I went over there and here's a couple tips. Whenever you're filming and you want to give it to somebody on YouTube, turn your phone from, don't film like this, Like, unless you're if you're gonna film it and put it on like Instagram Reels or TikTok, if that's where you want that footage to end up, film it vertically. But if you want to give it off to your favorite YouTuber, turn your phone like this. Or if you want it to take up a whole TV, that's just a quick tip. Either one is fine, but you're gonna get better impact if you film like that. There were people there filming, and it was wild. It was raining, and then this big blast door came down. I'm assuming it's a fire door, and I didn't really look any closer, but it wouldn't surprise me if they could section off parts of the promenade. But yeah, as I was there, you know, there were all these crew members kicking butt, handling the problem, and then this big door, and then it was over. And so at that moment, I don't remember what time it was, I went and changed into my walk around the island Labadee with Dawn clothes, and then we walked around Labadee, and when we came back, everything was open and dry. So they really handled it. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Janice and Randy P, thank you so much for the super chat. Love Disney inaugurals. Disney Wish this July will be our third. Lots of free gifts and special guests. Thanks, Tony. Man, I hope you have a good time. That ship looks amazing. The Marvel dinner looks really cool. They spent a lot of money on having the actual actors from the Marvel movies do stuff. I think that'll be fun. Can't wait to hear about your adventures. Jim Woodhead, thank you so much for the super chat. Question, are the cruise ships starting to fill the max capacity? How much longer, Princess? I don't think so, right? So we're on the tail of Omicron. Of course, this is the first cruise that I cruised with no mask anywhere. The crew members still had to mask up. So we're really on the tail end of Omicron. They started to push capacity before Omicron hit. And then everybody got smacked around because of Omicron. So at 42%, that was over. At 4,200, that was over 50% of this ship. I think you'll start to see it over the next couple months, 80, 90. It'll probably be summer before we get to 100%. Talk my throat dry. Rhonda says, question, any way to see the first day's ship agenda prior to embarkation? NCL breakaway specifically. Go on the internet, go to Cruise Critic, and look for, I can't remember, does anybody know what the name of the piece of paper on NCL is? The Daily Compass, the Patter, that's Princess. But that's what you want to Google. You want to Google current, whatever the paper's called, your cruise ship, and you should be able to see some of those, that kind of thing. Jenny B is in the house. What's up? Excuse me. Excuse me, I made myself cry. 3,900 on the Vista last week. That's a lot for Vista. Did I like the mustard drill? Yeah, I sure did. Again, probably the biggest silver lining, one of the biggest silver linings of COVID is the e-muster. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. No more shutting the bars down for muster. Let's see, do I think cruisers actually get to know the ports of call? I think that's going to be different for every cruiser. Cruisers that want to immerse themselves in the local culture will go out of their way to do that, and cruisers that won't. I think both have the opportunity to cruise any way that they want. Again, you could, like, in San Juan, my friend Brian lived there. I could have got off there and went to his house, and we could have went around local neighborhoods, all that kind of stuff. So the opportunity exists. You know, so is it as immersive as if you go stay there for a week? Obviously not, but you can have some immersion if you like it. I don't know if all cruisers are interested in doing that. So the interesting thing is, like, that's an interesting debate. Like, should cruise ships come to a community where people don't really care about being immersed in the culture? Well, that's honestly a conversation for the leadership of that area. And if the leadership of that area feels that financially the tourism that they gain from cruise ships coming there and only partially engaging in the culture or being immersed in the culture, if they find benefit in that, then they're going to let the cruise ships come and they're going to collect their money and they're going to be happy. And if they don't, then, somebody was saying that today, like, oh, cruising's ruined my community. Well, it's not like cruise ships can just dock without the local authorities saying that it's okay. So obviously local communities are happy to have cruise ship tourism. And, if they're not, then they'll push cruise ships away. So I don't think there's really any big onus on the cruiser to have some sort of, cruise the way that you want. That's what I say. Like, it's awesome that we get to go to these places and we get to engage in this culture. But at the end of the day, those places are inviting people to come to be as involved or not as involved as possible. So interesting stuff. Great question. Brian Mullen, thank you so much for the super chat. Digging the t-shirt. That's right. You got to keep it classic, baby. What was everybody's first video game console? My parents owned an Atari Pong, and it was about this big, and it had 2 spinny dials on it. That was our first console. The first one that I got myself was an Atari 2600, and my first computer was a TRS-80. Any nerds out there want to share their first gear? Saw Batman yesterday. I liked it. I thought it was weird that he was sparkly and that he turned into a vampire. Just kidding. That didn't happen. But there you go. Oh, the VIC-20, Margot. Yeah, one of my earlier, well, after the Trash 80, I had a Commodore 64 with a floppy drive. I cashed in some war bonds for that. That was good stuff. Etch-a-Sketch. Not a computer, Sandy, but I appreciate you playing along. Not a game system. But could you draw anything with that? Because I couldn't. I would shake it a lot. Question, are you going to try to cruise to Bar Harbor before it might close the cruise ships? I don't really get the sense that it's going to close the cruise ships. They've been trying to shut it down for a couple years, and it seems like more people want the cruise ships and don't want the cruise ships. I would like to cruise to Bar Harbor, to answer your question. I'd like to go out of New York, and we were supposed to go on the Mardi Gras on its inaugural sailing. I guess I'm glad that didn't happen. We were supposed to go on the Mardi Gras from New York up to the eastern coast of Canada. I still think that's going to be an awesome cruise. I don't know what ship we'll find that on, but those are one of the cruises I'd like to intentionally go on somewhere up the Maritimes with that. So Apple II, ran basic, C64, TRS-80, the Timex Sinclair, the VIC-20. Oh, I love all you guys. Number 2, pencil and a legal pad, Steven Z. Might as well say an abacus. Look, I'm an abacus. You can count on me. How about that? Typing code into a Commodore. Anybody use punch cards? The Odyssey, best stuff. The Texas Instruments. Ugh. All right. Any questions at all? Enjoy the silence. Who was that? Depeche Mode? Question. First time booking a suite with Royal Caribbean. Is it worth it over a balcony? Thinking of downgrading, going in April out of Puerto Rico. You know, I've only been on a couple suites. I was on a junior suite somewhere. Look, you're definitely going to get more room. And so if you're somebody that needs a bigger space in your cabin, you'd like a bigger space in your cabin. I think that's what you're paying for. Unless if you're on a suite, if you're on a room, if you're on a cruise that has cruise within a cruise, right? Like if you get special perks for being in a suite, maybe those special perks make it worth it for you. But it just, buy the most cabin that you want. That, if this is the one cruise that you're going on this year, go high hog, go do it all. But I don't know how much of it is that much. Jay Spiegel, why no gamer chair? I don't know. Are we gaming here, or was this a game channel? What kind of chair are you sitting in, Jay? Are you sitting in a game chair? I don't know. This is like a oversized office chair for big people. So I just figured I'll give you some more, give you guys some more like, oh, he's got a fat guy chair. Yeah, it's comfortable. What are you gonna do? Jenny B says there's a question from Disney Matt. How would I compare Wonder of the Seas to your Disney cruise? The ship was much better. I liked it better. I would go on Wonder again before I would go on Disney. Again, I think you have to be a Disney fan. Like, I'll say it again. The service that I got on the Disney cruise ship, the service and the food was really no better than I'd had anywhere else. And so the only differentiator on that Disney cruise was the Disney aspects. And so since those are not my first choice, I would go on the Royal Caribbean ship, the Wonder, before I would go on the Disney ship. Are we talking about the Wonder ship that I just came off of? I would probably still go on that because I still got to see some ice skating and the aqua show and all that stuff. It was all kind of mature adult entertainment. How many questions you're allowed to ask? I don't know. You can ask as many as you want. The question is, will I answer your question? And that has to do with me seeing it and stuff. Did I experiment? No, I don't. So Sean, I did ask the question, did I think I would get better service by pre-tipping? I don't ever pre-tip. I try to give people a good amount of money at the end based on how obviously I prepaid my gratuities, right? I pay the assigned gratuities and I prepay the assigned gratuities, and then I give extra money at the end of the cruise, depending on how it went. So I never try to, but I'm never really asking for anything extra. I'm not really worried about it. Question, does Royal, this is from Brandy, does Royal offer a smaller package of alcohol, like 10 drinks for 100? I heard they did not long ago. I don't think so. I mean, there's 2 different forms of the non-alcoholic package, and one includes coffee. We don't drink so it's that much, so it's hard to say. But I don't think there's a 100 drink package. I think it's all or nothing. But I have heard they will work on you work with you if only one person wants the drink package. So it's always worth talking to customer service about any of your requests. That's what I would do. Let's see. Did I ever give crew members socks? No, I don't think I almost took socks to Chris Wong when I saw him. I still just give cash. I'm trying to pack as light as possible, and so I'm trying not to take anything extra. And again, at the end of the day, I thought all those suggestions from Chris were great, but all of those suggestions that he made could be accomplished with cash, and so I also do that. Who do I over tip on a cruise? Mr. Bob Neal says. So we gave extra to the room steward. I always, like, even no drinks, so extra to the room steward. I gave extra to the specialty dining waiter. I always tip on the craps table as much as I can through bets and that kind of thing. The bartenders in the casino, even though the tips are included, I give the money there. The coffee, I give extra money to. So I try, again, I feel like I'm in a very blessed situation, and I feel very... and I feel like we're working with people that are working really hard to bring us a good vacation, that come from a different situation, and so I try to give extra when I can. I mean, I probably don't give as much as, I'm sure there's people that give more. I'm sure there's people that give less, but I just give however I feel led, and I try to always do that. Let's see. Question: I plan on tipping extra, but do you think they would like snacks with the cash? I was thinking about bringing something. They might not. Again, I think the crew members are appreciative of anything that you do for them. I think cash gives them the most flexibility, but also I think they like a connectedness also. So everything. It's fun to me to learn about where crew members are from, and then I think crew members also like to learn about where we're from, and so if a snack enhances that from your local area, I think that's kind of a neat add-on. Have I been in a cove balcony cabin on Carnival? If so, thoughts versus a normal balcony. I've not been on a cove balcony in Carnival. I do like cove balconies for the fact is I don't really like to have a lot of exposure to the sun. I don't really like being out in the sunshine. I'm always covered up or slathered up with sunscreen. And so cove balcony is kind of nice because it keeps the sun from beating down on your balcony, and oftentimes you can sit out there without it being crazy hot. So it depends what you want. Like if you want that full-on exposure to the sun, you want a nice hot balcony, cove probably wouldn't do it for you. And also it depends where it's at on the cruise ship. Your cove balcony may be a catcher for sun. So, but I like the coverage, especially like if it's raining or something, you can still use your balcony. Question: do we advertise our group cruise or have them listed somewhere? Yeah, www.lalidaloca.com/group cruise. We've got 5 left, spanning 2022 and 2023. Not really sure if what we're gonna be doing after that. Transatlantic cruise to Italy in April. Should I tip in euros or dollars? Amanda, call whatever the cruise line, whatever the currency of the cruise line is. If they're USD, I would tip in USD. If they're tipping and if you're paying in a different currency, I would tip in that currency. That's the way I would go. I'm sure that the dollar plays almost anywhere, so I think you could do that. Gloria, like Google Cove balcony, like just so you can see a picture, hit Google Images or whatever. A lot of times it's a balcony that's enclosed by some other metal structures or something like that. Kimmy and OGG, one old guy, what happens on your group cruise? For us, we're pretty casual. We use the group cruise to facilitate getting to hang out with Jenny and I a bit, but also for people to meet up with each other. On the Sky Princess group cruise, they gave us kind of a small dining area in the MDR. We had about 40 people, and so we had a table of 6 and a bunch of tables of 4. And so what we tried to do is we tried to rotate through that table of 6 so that everybody would get a chance to eat with Jenny and I. But then we'd also encourage people to sit at those tables of 4 to mix and mingle. And by the end of the cruise, people made a lot of good friendships. The other big thing that we did on the Sky Princess is we had a daily meetup from 2 to 3 at the lounge outside of the Crown Grill. And anybody who wanted to come and hang out and talk, it's hard, right? Like I need to send out a survey. Like, what do you want from a group cruise? Do you just want to see us? Do you want to talk to us? Do you want to hang out with us? And we're trying to gauge that. And if the answer to that, and we feel like the answer to that question is yes. And so on the Sky Princess, we just made an hour every day where you could come and hang out with us, talk to Jenny and I for an hour. And then we would also do like, we'd go to tea time, and then we'd have that dinner experiment where everybody got together. Again, it's kind of a struggle because I don't really know what people want from group cruises. I think it is a beautiful thing for the community to get together and to make friends, but at the same time, I don't really know what people want from me specifically. And so I don't want to let anybody down by not understanding that expectation, and it kind of makes me lean to maybe we shouldn't do group cruises, because again, I don't want people to expect something and not get it, and we're working through that. So man, I'd love to hear anybody's feedback. If you want to send me an email at tony@lalidoloca.com. When you hear group cruise, what's your expectation? What kind of involvement? Like, are we napping together in a hammock? What are we doing? Like, what do you think? What should you get from me for going on a La Lido Loca group cruise? That's the question. And then there's other things, like sometimes you're getting some onboard credit, and sometimes you're getting in a locked-in rate that goes up over time. I mean, there's that transactional type stuff, and that lives more on the travel side of our business. But I'm always thinking about the people side of it too. So I'm interested. Question: what was your 3 favorite entrees and appetizers on Wonder? So let's see. I think my favorite entrees were the pepperoni pizza and the pepperoni pizza and the pepperoni pizza. Now, most days I would go to the buffet, and we would go to the buffet at lunch after the show was over. Tried a variety of things. Nothing really knocked my socks off. Let's just go back to Embarkation Day. The fact that they had lobster tail and filet on the buffet, those were awesome. Those are probably good. The pimento cheese appetizer, pretty good at the mason jar, but I've had a lot of fresh pimento cheese before, and I was excited the fact that they had pimento cheese. That was kind of cool. Nothing. Look, again, I'm trying to not be as food forward. If I had my druthers, I probably would have eaten sushi every day on that cruise, because the Zumi sushi is probably some of the best at sea. But again, I'm not really trying to be too food focused. I'm trying to make food more of utility for me, so that I can lose weight. So yeah, I'm probably not the best food reviewer right now, because I just don't care. I'm trying to not care about food. I'm just trying to okay, I'm hungry. Let me go eat something. Question: if you could change anything on Wonder of the Seas, what would it be and why? I would have made sure, if I could have changed anything, I would have had a Broadway musical on that show, on that ship, so that it was similar to the experience on other Oasis class ships, and I would have had it ready to go. That's it. I mean, that probably would have changed my whole perspective on the, if I could have, we heard some rumors that there was Chicago. I don't know where the rumors came from, but if I could have went there and watched Chicago for 2 hours, the musical, and that would have been, it would have probably changed my whole perception of the thing. Let's see. Nautical Nurse Nancy's in the house. Question: what do you think about starting up a back alley craps game on your next MSC cruise? I mean, it's illegal if you're at sea in international waters. I'm fine with just not having craps on MSC. I don't need to, who's going to be the cashier on that, and who's working security? I don't know. It seems like a lot of work, Brad, just to gamble. I think we could find other things to do. We could flip baseball cards. How about that? Let's see. Goodbye, Sea Legs Journey. What you having for dinner? I hope it's delicious. Delicious. Eleanor R. Scott. That sounds cool. Yeah, as long as it's a different ship. Don was talking about an interesting cruise, but as soon as he said Caribbean Princess, I was like, well, I've been on that before. Which cruise are you talking about, Don? I can't remember. It was interesting. If you're still here. Question: do you think you could leave your balcony door cracked open on an Alaska cruise, or would the neighbors be too noisy or something? While you're in the cat, you can leave your door open as much as you want. I mean, and it's going to depend on your neighbors. I was somewhere where they had a full-on party next door. I was somewhere filming a sail away. I don't think it was Alaska. Maybe it was on the Harmony. I was on the aft balcony, and there was a 40-minute party over there. So it's just hit or miss. I think part of the social contract you get into is, I don't know if it's a violation of the social contract. I don't think you should be extra noisy on your balcony or in your cabin. I violate that sometimes, especially when I'm making videos, because I talk really loud, and I know that I've been too loud and so I try to temper that. But I think, yeah, you just never know what you're going to get. It's hit or miss, but you can't go expecting you're going to have a 100% quiet balcony. Question: with fuel going sky high, do you think cruise lines will do fuel charges? I need to dig into it a little bit. I feel like I saw an article that Royals committed not to. That could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's weird that after the fact they could come back and slap a fuel surcharge on you, but apparently that can happen. It's the way of the world, right? These ships take a lot of gas, and they're going to have to pass the cost on somewhere, right? All these companies are companies struggling to find a way back to profitability after the world shutting down, and so I don't anticipate them not passing on costs that they can't control. And so, yeah, I guess if it gets too bad, I could see them doing a surcharge, and then it's up to us as consumers whether or not we're going to pay it, and we'll have to vote with our dollars. Let's see. Question. I'm just Lorena. I'm not going to know the answer to this question, but I didn't want to ignore it. Enjoy your content. Panama Canal or Trans-Pacific to Australia. Is there a best ship for those two? I'm not familiar, right? I'm still trying to figure that out. And I'm leaning on people like Don to help. Don astutely said, hey, the reason I'm taking the older Island Princess to the Panama Canal is because it will get to use the old locks. And the old locks is a better experience than the new locks. And so that's still information I'm trying to get into my cruising brain. So I don't have an answer of which is the best ship to go Trans-Pacific to Australia. Wu-Tang Life, a hip-hop cruise. I'm surprised they don't have that. You can almost find any kind of music that you want on a cruise, like from a theme perspective. I feel like I've seen something like that. Make sure you look around if you're really looking for that. Poker cruise happening. Eric Floyd, I don't know. Again, all these theme and charter cruises, I'm assuming they'd like to see them go because those are revenue generating for somebody. Whoever's organizing the poker cruise, I'm sure they don't want to pass on that. So, and things are getting better from cruising. Question, are you going on the Discovery Princess? What have you heard about this ship? I haven't heard anything about it. I don't have any plans to go on it, but I would not go on it. I just don't have any plans for it right now. And I enjoy Princess, so it would be very easy. Do you think gratuities will increase since fuel prices have gone up? I don't know if that'll make gratuities go up, but Norwegian already increased their gratuities, so I think every once in a while, for sure, gratuities are going to go up. With the challenges of supply chain, have you noticed any shortages on food variety and really any other items? Gosh, we were on a cruise that toward the end of the week they ran out of Diet Coke. I feel like it was and water. I think it was on the Apex. So on the Apex we had a package where we could get all the soda and water that we wanted, and we started drinking sparkling water. So we were drinking a lot of, well, they had bottled Evian, they had Perrier and San Pellegrino. And once we got turned on to that San Pellegrino, we were drinking the sparkling water a lot. And toward the end of the week, they were out of Diet Coke and San Pellegrino. I don't know if that's a supply issue or not, or if we just went so hard on it that we drank them out of San Pellegrino. Because, we told everybody on the cruise ship, did you get the San Pellegrino? We didn't do that, but Jackie Otis from the UK. What's up, Jackie? Thank you so much for the super sticker. It's a pair drinking coffee. That's right. Silver knew nothing. We do play board games together. We do a lot of stuff. Do any of the creators in the chat have content on Bermuda? I booked a great rate yesterday from Norfolk to Bermuda. Kathy, I know for sure that Paradj, the creators Paradj, have been to Bermuda. I think Nautical Nurse Nancy's been to Bermuda. Our friends Sharon at Sea and the Ship Show have been to Bermuda. I think you could probably, I think all you got to do is drop Bermuda in that search engine. I think you're going to find a lot of cruisers that have been there. Thank you, Bigfoot, for the kind compliment, and good luck at staying hidden from people that are looking for you. Let's see, Jenner's Patters Cruising Channel. What was your favorite cruise drink? Probably this coffee. I drank it every day. What I drink? I don't really drink much alcohol. I had a couple beers when I was playing craps. Like what the AC was crazy in that casino. There were a lot of people in that casino too. There were a couple nights, and I don't, you would think that me being a big guy, I could just start sweating. I'm not built like that. I don't just start randomly sweating. But it was like a sauna one night in the casino, and I started randomly sweating, and every water that they brought me was warm, and I'm like, all right, let's try a beer. And so I drank a couple Heinekens at the casino merely because it was cold, and the beer was delicious. But yeah, I think other than soda, cranberry juice I was drinking, Diet Coke, bottled water, and coffee. That was the biggest one. Kimmy and One Old Guy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Preach. What's your all's favorite cruise drink? Do you guys like those fruity rum drinks, or do you like, I had a margarita with Don in the theater that night. If you go watch the Just Don video about him spilling his pina colada on the floor, he's actually holding my drink telling that story for a visual. That's my margarita. It was a frozen margarita. It was really weird. It wasn't well blended. Do you like clean? Isn't Starbucks bad for the waistline? I don't know, David. Like on the program that I'm on, you can have anything you want. So one thing's not any better or worse for the waistline. And then most of my fat sits around my belly. Like my waist is actually kind of small. So again, it could be bad for my belly line. I don't know. How do you guys feel about belly line? Where do you guys lose your weight at first? I feel like it's going away in my face. How was the vibe at the craps table? It was great. There were a lot of fun players there. We had a good time. My favorite thing is that social aspect of craps. Same people hanging out every night. There was a young married couple that were a lot. It was a blast. We had a good time. It would have been more fun to win a lot of money, but the vibe was good. Oh, that's right. The Miami Vice, Brendan in. Yeah, I've seen that before. That's a cool looking drink. Half pina colada, half strawberry daiquiri. Daiquiri. Queen Beat is in the house. Man, you're almost first every day. I tell you what, if everybody could aspire to be first in the comments, like Queen Beat and Thomas Bray, Douglas Bray, I mean, I would be proud of all of you. Let's see. Mayor V retired. Carolyn Princess from the West Coast to Hawaii, 15 days. Yeah. So when we go on this, we've got some decisions to make, right? We've never been on any cruise from the West Coast down to the Mexican Riviera. And so once we finish this Panama Canal transit, that would be a likely add-on. And I think we could kill two birds with one stone. I think we could do one of those dam ships, one of those Holland ships on the West Coast. And so we're trying to figure out how to get home from LA, whether we're just going to fly or try to drive home. But it's hard to get a rental car right now that's reasonably priced. We could go to Vegas. We could drive and see our kids. But I think we might try to stick in a West Coast cruise while we're out there. So I'm excited about having this little break of 45 days. We can actually make a plan going forward. Jenny's favorite drink on these last few cruises has been the Virgin Mojito. She likes a mojito. The mojito. Let's see. Diva drinks Starbucks twice a week. Yeah, I'm losing weight every week, still drinking coffee. So it's not, again, it's the program. You got to follow the program. Question, based on your experience on the Wonder, would you take another inaugural cruise? Yeah, so, Psych, here's my new criteria. I want somebody that I know. And the cool thing about the Wonder is I met a lot of creators that I'd never seen before. Like I met them face to face. That was cool. I like that. And now I feel like I could reach out to some of those. Big shout out first to Ordinary Adventures. These are some folks that I'd watched a lot. It was really cool to meet them on the cruise ship, but sadly, Kitra of Ordinary Adventures broke her ankle at Coco Cay in 2 places. And so I don't know if they'll watch this. I don't know if they're at home. I think they're back in LA, but shout out to Peter and Kitra. And Kitra, if you're seeing this, we hope that you are better. But yeah, it was really cool to meet a lot of people on that cruise ship that I'd never seen face to face. It was good to see Steph of Sean and Steph again. We met Ben and David, got to see Griffin and Alyssa again. Rich and Jazzy Life, I've been watching their videos. It was so nice to meet them. The Happy Hoffman, I'm going to miss people, so I'm already trying to crank through my brain not to miss people. The Happy Hoffman Travelers, so many people. I can't even keep up with it, but it was really cool to see those folks face to face. But yeah, my takeaway from the Wonder is this. I'm going to reach out to one of those people that have been on that cruise and go, is everything there? Because I don't want to go unless everything's there. I don't think I want to book the first 5 cruises. Again, I don't have to be first. Like Valiant Lady started over the weekend. I'm ready to go on Valiant Lady. I'm ready to go on a Virgin ship. But I might wait. Like our friends Para DJ said, we're going to go in November. And we had a great time going on that first Disney cruise together. Maybe we wait until November and go on Valiant Lady with Para DJ. So yeah, again, not having to be first. I want all this stuff to be there. Like it wasn't novel enough for me to be first. To override the fact that all the stuff wasn't there. The Wonder's going to be a great ship. Like I said in my review, give it 2 weeks. It's probably awesome. I'm not dogged out on Royal. I'm not mad. Royal's probably my favorite cruise line. Oasis definitely my favorite cruise ship. It just was a big lesson learned for me, and it's probably true for all the cruise lines. Wait until things are fully baked, if that's your bag. I know there's a lot of people who are just happy to be there, but wait, if having all the stuff is your bag, wait until it's there. And so I think that's where I'm at. Look into vehicle relocation. Sometimes you can find a rental car for free. You just have to pay for the gas. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, you could be the driver. How about that? Laura, that's a great thing. I'm going to say it again in my head. Vehicle relocation. Yes, Lindy Lou, I got to see Alana and Raphael and baby Valencia. A lot of friends. JJ Cruz, 100%. Thank you, guys. There were so many people. It was hard to keep up. Question, have you heard the Symphony of the Seas will not have Hairspray up and running till May? Eddie, I haven't seen that. That's sad if that's true, because that would make me not want to go on Symphony of the Seas. Let's see. Yeah, so the challenge for us, Margot's talking about the Regal Princess to Greece, October 1st. So one of our big we have group cruise in August, going to Alaska on NCL, and then every year we have a group cruise for Halloween on Carnival. So it's hard to do anything in October. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I've lost some weight. So we'll finally get to go back and get the official weigh-in. I think I lost 3 pounds over this last cruise, and we go back for the official weigh-in on Friday. And I just saw somebody mention Jay. I got to talk to Jay from the Ship Life a couple times. I didn't see him breakdance, but he's been putting out some really good vlogs. And make sure you go check out Jay at the Ship Life. He is almost to 100,000 subscribers. Griffin Alyssa hit 50,000 subscribers. JJ Cruz hit 20,000 subscribers. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in the creator space in cruising. So it's very exciting. Let's see, the Alaska cruise embarks from Seattle. Heard anything lately about NCL fuel? I haven't, I don't know anything about fuel charges at all. I haven't really got that deep into it. Tomorrow we'll be back trying to dig out news for the show. But yeah, I don't know anything. Any plans to check out Margaritaville at Sea? Maybe. Like, we got a lot of friends going there. It would be cool to do with friends. Again, those are really older cruise ships. It's going to be interesting to see how the branding works. It's just going to pop you down to Freeport. But yeah, it should be fun. Again, I'm not a big party guy, so unless I'm going with a crew that I think would be fun to see in that environment or participate in that environment with, not a huge desire. But like, again, if I could get on there with my friend John from the Ship Show or some people like that, I'd love to be in the middle of it. But I think they're going like right at the beginning, and I think it conflicts with something that we got going on. Let's see. Which destination is your favorite and why? Gosh, if I could go back to anywhere that I've been previously, I would go to Japan. All those stops in Japan were amazing, and it was so different than anything I'd ever experienced in my life that I want to experience more of it. It's an interesting culture all the way across the world, and so I enjoyed that. But I've been to a lot of great places in the Caribbean also, and almost every port that I've been to, I've got some sort of great memory. But to me, I'm really more forward looking. So I want that next place that blows my mind, like Japan. And I don't know what that is yet. And that's why we got to keep going. Thank you, Major V Retired. Thanks everybody for saying kind stuff about the weight loss. Yeah, man, we just keep doing it every day. I guess the joke that I'm saying is that I've lost about 20 pounds in 50 days. And if I keep losing 20 pounds every 50 days, in 4 years, I'll weigh 8 pounds, which I think is funny. Barbara, I don't think you could get, well, I don't know, 2,600 plus games. I haven't looked on eBay in a while. You could probably get $1,000 for that. You might be able to do it. That'd be fun. Your husband might not be mad if you trade in his 2,600. Trust me, I've had some stuff disappear before, not from Jenny, but it was not great. Lester Knight, thank you. Any plans to yeah, definitely want to go to the Med. Talking to somebody on this cruise about going to Israel. So again, I want to be in like really good shape, not really good shape, but enough shape where I feel like I can not miss out on things. That might be 2023, 2024 for me. So our big push this year is to get in better health to go on some of these exotic trips. Two favorite things to do on a sea day. It's not much different on a sea day as a port day. My favorite things to do on a cruise ship is to go to the show, to gamble into the night, and to sleep during the day. So that's pretty much true on every, like if I'm going somewhere interesting, I'll make a big effort to get off the cruise ship. But cruising for me, like our favorite vacation, just Jenny and I, is to go to a casino that has shows. And so that's why cruising works out really well for us, because it has those things and it has other things. But yeah, we're not, I mean, I don't know if we're your typical cruisers, not your typical cruisers. We're probably your typical casino people, but I always have to see the show. So I never make it to the casino till after the show. So that's kind of the thing. Excuse me. Travel Spree, what's up? Travel Spree, we also got to see them again. The list is too long to remember everybody. Lauren Fain, it was so good to see you guys again. We miss you guys also. I hope you had a good time. It looked like you guys are having a good time. And yeah, make sure you guys check out Travel Spree. Thank you guys so much for the super chat.
super chat.
Oh, that's cool. Cheryl said that Jay's going on the Margarita group cruise. Let's see. Nemesis, I don't think I know anything about the pay to get off at the port, but I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Travels a W&A. Yeah, basically at our size, like walking's probably the best exercise. And gosh, on that cruise, I don't know what my average was the week before, but I had over a 10,000 day, a 12,000 day. Those are a lot of steps for me. Last week, so my Friday to, is that this? Yeah, so I averaged 7,000 steps on the ship, which was a lot. Question on RCL, do they have a plug close to the bed for CPAP? I feel like on the Wonder, they had outlets right there on the bed. There was definitely USB, and I think there was AC. Yeah, right there on the bed, which was nice. Just looking to see if there's any question. Oh, yeah, we answered that question already. Hey, Tony, cruising on Carnival Spirit, being that it's an Australian ship, do you think they'll have U.S. electric? They probably have both. A lot of cruise ships you'll see have interchangeable plugs. So they'll have the back end where you can put in an adapter. So, but it's never a bad idea to buy European adapters or an adapter kit that has European and Australian adapters, because sometimes that'll give you extra outlets in the cabin or extra outlets around the cruise ship. I don't have a link to that on Amazon, but I know Amazon has that, and that's always good to have in your travel bag. Bob, don't know. I haven't heard anything lately. I haven't really dug lately into these protocols, so I don't know if oxygen users are still there. Oasis class is my favorite, Mark. You know what, Amika, I did, because everybody kept having, so she asked, did I try the Dirty Banana cocktail on the Sky Princess? Everybody was having the Dirty Banana, and on Sky Princess, we had some sort of drink package that included alcohol, which was interesting. But yeah, I had the Dirty Banana. It just tastes like chocolate banana. You can't even taste the alcohol in it. I think that would be dangerous. James says that he has a wife who wants to get rid of his 2600. Can trade a wife for a cruise? Maybe. Depends to who. I guess in that movie that Robert Redford, that was an indecent proposal. Wouldn't that have been cool to see Robert Redford go up to Woody Harrelson and go, look, I'd like one night with your wife, Demi Moore. I'll give you an Atari 2600 and all the original cartridges. I think he would have went for it. Question, where were the elevators on the Wonder? I travel with a mobility scooter and I find sometimes to have to quite the wait. So there were forward elevators and then there were aft elevators. The aft elevators were right where you come in the cruise ship. The cool thing about the Wonder is the thing's so wide, like plenty of room, big elevators, and then of course the promenade deck, super wide, lots of room for scooters and mobility issues. They did pretty good too. Like I don't remember queuing a ton at the elevators, and people were pretty cool about scooters and people with mobility issues. So, yeah. Dennis, would I be able to take the Amtrak? I think you'd have to switch over a couple times. It would cost a few $1,000s, and it would be hard to stop and visit people or visit places. So I think we'd rather have like our car or something, a car. We thought about maybe even trying to buy a car in California, but I'm wondering if the taxes are different. I don't know. We've got to figure it out. But yeah. How was the basketball courts on the Wonder of the Seas? Quentin, I think they were fine. I didn't shoot hoops. The one thing that I wanted to do that I didn't really do well about organizing, I think it would have been hilarious to have all the creators play dodgeball with each other. There were a couple dodgeball sessions, but that would have been fun. It looks good. It looked like the same, sports courts as the other Oasis class, so I think it's probably fine. Let's see. What's the best restaurant on Coco Cay? So if you get the Beach Club, the best food on Coco Cay is in the Beach Club, but the Beach Club's kind of expensive, but they have lobster and steak and all that stuff. I don't guess I've ever been to the buffet on Coco Cay because I've only ever been to the Beach Club or just walked around Coco Cay and not eaten on Coco Cay. But all that food comes off the ship, right? They bring all the provisions off the ship and then they cook it up there on Coco Cay. I like the little snack shack, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches. They had a couple sweetie options, and there's a couple of those around, but the buffets seem pretty crowded. I don't know, the buffet's always like barbecue fare, island fare, that kind of stuff. But if you want the best food on Coco Cay, you got to go to the Beach Club, in my opinion. A question from Cruise Buoys. We have booked Wonder of the Seas for 2023. It will be our first time on an Oasis class. What is your top tip for a must-do for first-time Royal and Oasis class cruisers? Now, this is going to be based on me, so you got to go to the Aqua Show. That's the coolest thing that I've ever seen on a cruise ship. Somebody diving 90 feet. Like, even in the preview, there was a slack rope walker that walked like 60 feet above the deck. So some of the coolest stuff ever. Go to the ice skating show, go to the aqua show. If you're going to be on an Oasis class, a unique experience that you'll have that other people won't have is you'll be able to ride the carousel. And so take 5 minutes and ride the carousel. So there's just some cool stuff like that that's unique to the Oasis class that I would definitely do. There's ice skating shows on other Royal ships. There's not aqua shows on other Royal ships, and there's not carousels on other Royal ships. So those would be two unique things. And the Abyss, if you're small enough to fit in that dry slide, that's going to be unique to Oasis also. Is there 4 or 3 astronauts, Jenny B asked? I think it's 3. I don't know. Somebody said 4. Lester, have we ever cruised with P&O? No, we have not cruised with P&O. Good night, Laura. Sleep well. Question, cruising on the horizon in 6 days. First cruise since the pandemic, going to the Dominican, Aruba, and Bonaire. Do you know if you have to book an excursion to get up? I don't think so. If the ship is cleared, because it was interesting, we met the guy that actually communicates the COVID numbers between the cruise ships and the government in the Bahamas. I always wondered how that happened, and there was a dude that's part of his job. That's an aside. No, I think you get to Aruba, Bonaire, all that. As long as the ship is cleared to dock there, I think you'll be able to get off and do whatever. They might have their own rules there. I can't remember what the question is. They'll have their own rules there, like when we were in Puerto Rico and when we were in the Bahamas, there was a mask requirement. They told you to carry around at least a picture of your vaccination card, but nobody ever asked for it. So at least the places that I went. No, yeah, so I don't think you have to book an excursion. Shauna, unless you're traveling with like unvaccinated kids and because you're on Carnival, I think to get off the cruise ship, you have to have a booked excursion if you have unvaccinated in your party, but if you're vaxxed, you can get off. Question, have you ever done a New England, Canada cruise? No, it's on the bucket list, Jay. We got canceled for one during the pandemic, but we definitely like to do that. Question, did Puerto Rico require... Yeah, they stopped requiring... We didn't have to get retested to get into San Juan. And I think they dropped the mask mandate the day after we left. Davis, I want to book my first Royal cruise. I have the Royal app on my phone, and I'm going with my sister. Does she have to down the app? Yeah, I mean, you would want her to. Everybody in your cabin, they have to have their own little account there for like payment and stuff like that. You guys could share the same payment method, but everybody that's going, you'd want them to have their own app and setup and all that kind of stuff. Icon class is coming out. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to go on the first one, but I'll definitely like to get on one. Question, what was your favorite out of your most recent 3 cruises? If it's Princess, do you think it's potentially due to cruise fatigue? So it's a tough question. So the Princess cruise was special because it was a group cruise. So we got to hang out with a lot of people, locafam. We got to see a lot of people make friends with each other. The best 3 shows that I saw, well, no, it wasn't on Princess. Princess only had 1 show. So I think if I was going from an entertainment-only perspective, it would have been Celebrity. They had the best 3 shows. But it's hard to say. Best working environment was on the Sky Princess. Best shows was on Celebrity. The best cruise ship, I feel like, out of the 3 was the Wonder of the Seas, but it lacked in the entertainment. I don't know. Like if I had to choose one again, I would choose the Sky Princess only if they were short on their shows. If they got 2 more shows on there, that would have been my favorite because of the medallion. I don't think it's because of cruise fatigue. I was tired during all that trip. I was tired at the beginning of the trip, in the middle of the trip, all the way home. So I don't think it's cruise fatigue. But I tell you what, I just think the Apex, because of the internet and stuff like that, I didn't like it as much. I didn't like the open atrium. I didn't like every restaurant. And we went to La Petite Chef. We paid good money to go to La Petite Chef, and you could barely hear La Petite Chef for the rock band coming through the open concept of the restaurant. And so it turned me off a little bit on the Apex. It's somewhere between the Sky Princess and the Wonder. And yeah, it's a tough one. But I don't think it's cruise fatigue. I think I gave them all a fair shake. Smoky Traveler, thank you so much for the super chat. Missed you and Jenny B. Well, we're glad to be back. Question, are cruise lines making provisions for medically excused unvaccinated adults? I'm not sure. You have to check on a cruise line by cruise line basis. I feel like there was a time that there was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the latest on all that is. Best fitness center. Gosh, which one was nice? The Apex had a really nice modern fitness center. Again, I'm not like lifting a lot of weights or doing the treadmill. I think from a walking track perspective, the Apex was interesting because it went up and down 2 decks. But I like the Wonder because it's covered. But yeah, I don't know. That one's a tough one. Question, does the Wonder have just a soda package? Yeah, I think so. They've got 2 non-alcoholic beverage packages, and I think the lowest one is just a soda package. It might include water. The second level includes like coffee and stuff. Do you think Royal should continue to build bigger and bigger ships, especially if they're only half foot larger than the last? Sure. There's something in the business about being able to say that you're the world's largest cruise ship. And obviously from a business perspective, if they can fill those things up and people are satisfied, why not? You get more, from a business say we get more bang for their buck, as you know, and more money extracted from people. So yeah, why not? Be the world's largest cruise ship. What are my top 3 ports of call? I'm going to say, man, I got to say my favorite, Puerto Rico. I always have a good time going to Puerto Rico. St. Thomas, I feel like St. Thomas is probably the most beautiful port. And then I want to say one of the Alaskan ports. So, you know, like I'm not going to throw Japan out there. I know we don't go much. I don't know. All those Japanese ports like hold a high place for me. And then, but in Alaska, I think I liked Ketchikan as much as the other 2. Joe Duro, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Just saying, hey, have been absent for a bit. Keep going and entertaining. Thanks for your work. Interesting how people differ to not overeat. I have to find value. Money plus time plus taste equals value. Love WW. Absolutely. It's good to see you, Joe. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Question from Richard. When we got to the end of our Wonder of the Seas trip, did I have to get tested on board in order? No, you don't have to get tested to come back to the U.S. And let me just mention this. Oasis, or Wonder of the Seas also had facial recognition for customs, so you didn't have to talk to a customs officer. That's one of the nice things that I feel like is coming about from the pandemic is you really don't have to interact with the customs officer. They use that facial recognition. I think some of that was going in before the shutdown, but pretty cool. Let's see. Are mocktails on the same package of cocktails or with the level 2 non-alcoholic? So Joe from New England, most of the time mocktails are included in the high-level non-alcoholic packages. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what, I think Jenny was getting mocktails on the Wonder and we just had that, so it's good stuff. Let's see. I saw Wu-Tang's live thing. I think it got hidden by the computer. Wu-Tang wants to know if he can nude sunbathe. I don't know anybody who's doing it. We were, gosh, I feel like on the MSCC side, we saw some people maybe nude sunbathing, and it's very European there. And then maybe Virgin Voyages, I don't know. I think Carnival used to have a deck, but like nude sunbathing's not really a U.S. cruising thing. Record for the longest live stream. How long have I been going? I think there's been a lot longer than, I've only been going 90 minutes. But how long you want to do? Are you designing a cruising t-shirt? Yeah. Like in my mind. I haven't. The cool thing is, and if anybody's out there that responded to my send me your graphic art samples, that's one of the things on my to-do list this week is to get back in touch with people that sent me emails. That's the only way I'm taking the submissions. So if you send me an email with like a link to your portfolio, I'm definitely going to be looking for somebody to help us design some t-shirts. I would love to pay for some designs because I want to get some t-shirts out to you guys. That's the challenge, is just translating the stuff that's in my head to something visual. So I'm excited. Did I already talk about the COVID protocol? What's the question? I don't know what the question is. I can talk about COVID protocols, but it feels like they're becoming less and less important. You can get the merch at our Teespring site. I don't know if any of the Blue Crew or Jenny B, if you guys could link it. I don't know. How about the Disney waiter? What about it, Joe? Do you think they will change the required testing before a 2-day back to 3-day before the cruise? I don't know. So I think I think Carnival already did, right? They said that if you're fully vaccinated and you are up to date, that means you've been boosted or you're not yet eligible for the booster. Like if you're just up to date on your shots, you can go to a 3-day. Let's see. Cassandra, cruise vloggers doing travel specifically from physically challenged perspective. Cruising with Wheels, they do cruising from a mobility challenge perspective. And then I think it's, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Cruise with a Chair. I think that's the channel name. They both do that. How does Mardi Gras compare to Wonder of the Seas? So Mardi Gras is so interesting. Like, I'm so proud of Carnival for what they did, because while Mardi Gras feels like a Carnival ship, it also feels like an amalgam of some of the best features of other cruise lines. And one of those features it was the attempt to do multi-space, multi-functional space. Like that whole Grand Central of the Mardi Gras is really almost an homage to 270 on the Quantum class stuff of Royal. It's a different vibe, right? Again, you're getting a very specific thing on the Oasis class. You're getting the boardwalk, you're getting the Central Park, you're getting the very big, wide open promenade. Mardi Gras still choppy. Like there's still some choke points to get through. So it's not a great flowing cruise ship, but it did a lot of interesting modern things. I think if you're going to cruise on Carnival, if you can do it, I would cruise on Mardi Gras. To me, that's the best ship in the fleet right now, from an entertainment and a food perspective and an interesting design perspective. I would do both, right? Like you guys know how I am. I don't really believe in being loyal to a cruise line. I don't think the perks are worth the amount of money that you spend. Like if you're telling me that you're getting $100 in laundry free every cruise, but you spent $300,000 or $400,000 to get that, I'd be like, just spend $100 per cruise on laundry. But there's people like being loyal. I mean, I'm not against being loyal, but I'm just saying for me, I like the variety of the cruise ships. I would do both. I would honestly do both. Tropical Tom, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat.
Super chat.
Just super chatty. Wu-Tang Life, I didn't go to the gym on the Wonder, I don't think. I went on the Apex and looked at their gym, and I looked at the walking track on the Wonder. I don't do the gym much. I don't know if you guys watch or not, but I'd be surprised if you ever saw me going to or talking about the gym. Brenda, what's my favorite part of being a cruise tuber? That is a great question. So the two highlights for me is with what I do, especially making the show, is I just enjoy being able, or the challenge of creating something out of nothing that's entertaining. And the fact that people get entertained. The community building is a big, interesting aspect of it for me. It's weird, like so many things I desired in my life I get to do in this job, and it's weird that it came in a cruise wrapper. And so I love cruising, I'm passionate about cruising, but the things that get me most excited about being a creator is probably the creator part of it. Having a joke that lands, that somebody repeats in the comments. I tell you what's really blown my mind as a cruise tuber is being back on these cruise ships and so many crew members coming up and saying, you gave us information when we didn't have other information. You gave us hope when we didn't have hope. And from crew members to people saying that, it's something that was unexpected, but something that is so satisfying to know that the work that you do means something. Because I've worked in plenty of organizations where I was just another faceless name in that organization, where it seemed important at the moment, the work that we were doing, but as soon as somebody that seemed important went away, they were just replaced by another person, and it never really meant anything. And so I think the best thing to me is that I'm able to have a business, to make a living, and then there be some sort of real connection with the work that I'm doing and you guys out there. So I hope that makes sense. What's been my favorite stage show on a cruise? Lester, I've seen a ton of stage shows. I think the Effectors was great on the Spectrum. The first time I saw the Effectors with the drones inside the building, that was pretty amazing. The Disney cruise, I feel like it was... The Rapunzel show was okay, but the second show where they brought out all the Disney, where they converged all the characters from a bunch of Disney movies, that was pretty spectacular from a production aspect. That was pretty amazing. from a show perspective. I like the Tap Factory the other night, a whole different kind of show with tap dancing and stomping. And I love all of it. I mean, it's hard to say. I loved Cats the first time I saw it. The Cats had been a musical that had been floating around in my brain since 1989. I was in high school when that came out, and I never saw it. And sitting there trying to decipher for 2 hours what Cats meant, and then coming home and listening to that soundtrack for 2 months, it was pretty transformative to see Cats on a cruise ship. So it's kind of hard to say, but I really enjoy all of those shows. Any question to any plans to cruise on Prima? We do have a group cruise on the Prima, so for sure it won't be one of her earlier cruises. She should be fully baked by the time that we get there. Let's see. Thank you guys for all the kind words. A lot of nice, very nice. Steven Z, have I ever thought about? No, like my juggling skills are pretty good. I mean, I've seen I won't name the name. There has been one juggler that I've seen on a cruise ship that I probably could do most of his routine, but then I've seen some other cruise jugglers that are very advanced that I would have to work very hard to learn those tricks. And so I think it's no. I don't think I would want to. I enjoy this job so much more than I think being a juggler on a cruise ship. But I do love all the circus arts, and I love people. I love jugglers, and so it's. I just don't think it's my. I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Presha Barton, how am I? I'm doing great, actually. Yeah, Tropical. When's my next inaugural cruise? It could be a while. Question, going on the Mardi Gras April 30th out of Port Canaveral, any don't miss. So I don't know what the shows will be. We were there on Halloween, and they had a lot of Halloween-oriented shows in the Central Park area. I would say don't miss that. We didn't try any of the specialty restaurants. Don't miss Shaq's Big Chicken. Probably one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had. Don't miss Shaq's Big Chicken, and don't miss any of the shows that you can see at the Grand Central. And also make sure you check at Java Blue, because what they have on the Mardi Gras that they don't always have on other carnival ships is they have a lot of included food there. There was like good beef empanadas. There was grab-and-go tuna sandwiches. Almost borrowing... almost borrowing from Princess's International Cafe. It's kind of got that vibe at Java Blue on Mardi Gras, so check that out. I don't think I've juggled professionally. I used to do a lot of stuff with church. We used to do a lot of outreach with juggling, but it's been a while ago. Is Kyle here? Had a good time seeing Kyle and all those guys that we'd met on Adventure, Kyle and JoJo, and all such good people, man. It's so cool to see everybody doing their thing. Do you think we're good to dine, especially dining in restaurants with small kids? Melanie, it's like every other restaurant you go to. It's going to depend on your kids. I'm sure there's going to be, like, if your kids act out, there's going to be some people giving you some stern looks, but if your kids don't act out, I'm sure it's going to be fine. However you feel at a normal restaurant with your kids, I think you're going to feel the same way on the specialty restaurants. That's an interesting. So Mikey asked, is there any consistent negative aspect of traveling by cruise ship that you would personally like improved? That's an interesting question. Like, so like a lot of people, I'm often concerned with, like, our crew members getting a fair shake? Are they working too much? And I talk to a lot of them, and they all tell me that the opportunities they have on a cruise ship are better than what they have at home. Most of them, let me say that. You will meet people that are like, oh, I just started doing this and it's really hard. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, again, I think we live in a world of personal responsibilities. I think, as long as cruise lines aren't breaking any laws and we're all willfully spending our money with them, I got no problem with it. But, there are some aspects where you're like, wow, I see the same person working all day. Are they getting a fair shake? And, you ask those people, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, we're okay. So that's the hardest part. But I don't think there's a real model for, cruise ships with, expensively paid, like U.S. wage paid workers. I just don't think that's what cruising is. And so I think you've got to reconcile that. You know, again, if I felt like the crew members were being horribly mistreated or completely disadvantaged, I would probably have a stronger feeling about it. But I think that's what I worry about the most. I think cruise lines are constantly trying to improve their environmental profile, just like every other business. And again, I think the local leadership of countries and islands and cities, they're all deciding whether or not cruise ships can come there. And so if I'm on a cruise ship and it's docking somewhere, then that location said it, you know, the leaders of that location said, come on and dock here. So there's not too much that really gets me uptight about it. Lester, I gamble almost every night in the casino. Let's see. Yeah, Charles, we completely enjoyed ourselves. I had never been on a cruise that I don't enjoy ourselves. That's the weirdest thing, right? I come off a cruise ship and everybody's like, so can you tell us your honest opinion of the cruise? And so I'll have to sit down and, like, in the moment, I'm having a great time, right? But then, you know, there's a time, a part of this job where I want to be as honest as possible and tell you the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like. And what's funny is sometimes when you get to the point of telling what you didn't like, people don't want that honest opinion anymore. Like, it was so weird reading some of those comments yesterday. It's like, you just sound like a negative whiner. And it's like, yeah, but isn't it good that I said, like, wouldn't you rather me be dishonest than, or wouldn't you rather me be honest than dishonest? It's such a weird thing. But yeah, look, I mean, that cruise life is the best. I mean, I'm with my lady and I'm with my friends and I'm on a cruise ship and a lot of people aren't. So I feel completely blessed to be traveling, but I'm also like, I feel a huge responsibility to come home and tell you guys exactly how I feel. And, you know, to me, that's what's important. But there we go. Where do you recommend staying in Miami? If you're going to stay near the cruise port, I've stayed at I think the Marriott or the Hilton. I don't know. I don't like staying near the cruise port because the rooms are expensive, but I've had some good luck at, like, I was at Radisson Red near the airport. That was kind of inexpensive. I stayed at the La Quinta near the airport. Anything that you stay at downtown is going to be fairly expensive. I think Jenny enjoyed a lot her cruise on the Wonder, except having to see me every day. Notice she's not here with me. She's like, she had to go to a different room. What the heck? Which cruise lines have the best, worst app experience? I don't know. I need to do better about that. Like, one thing I want to start doing is taking a speed test on all the cruises and posting it up on the website. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Kim, for the kind words. The Kent Hotel was a good value. There you go. Thank you for that. Yeah, Diva, I think, you know, look, honest, I get it, right? Like, we all are fans and we love our favorite products and we love our favorite brands and, you know, people get defensive about it. And it's like, I got to feel like people that are defensive about it don't know me very well or they're not familiar with what I do because I feel like I'm fairly fair and consistent. And so if I'm saying something, it's, you know, it's not, I'm not just making it up, you know. That's the thing it's just weird. Like, it's pretty obvious sometimes to spot in the comments, like, you know, it's just obvious in the comments that you can tell when people are just trying to defend the brand or they're not familiar with the show or something like that. So you just take it with a grain of salt. But to me, I feel like just continuing to defer to being honest will pave the way to whatever next place I need to go to. And yeah, it would just be ridiculous for me. Could you imagine if every review from me was like, oh, everything was amazing? Because what part of life is like that? It just, you know, it would ring so hollow, in my opinion. Uh-oh, Christina is late. She's got to do write-ups. All right. Elaine, when did I start punishing people after each video? I don't know. Somewhere along the way. I know for sure it was in January when we started talking about 18 million subscribers. I think the punishments came out before that. And then all I know is when I don't punish people, there's a whole bunch of sadists out there that are like, where's my punishment? I like to be punished. And I'm like, okay, I'll come up with a new punishment. I'm just kidding. I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean that in a funny way. That's a joke. So quiet in this room. It's good to meet you too. Yeah, I met so many people last week on the Wonder. It's really amazing that people. The wildest thing, like, and it's hard to describe it. all of a sudden you go somewhere and everybody knows you. That's a wild situation, and it takes a little bit to get used to. And it was even more so on the Wonder. There were a lot of people. The wild thing is I went and saw the Batman yesterday, and as soon as I walked in to buy tickets, somebody was like, "Tony, is that you?" So even at the movie theater here in my town, there was a couple there from Inverness. You guys might be out there. It was really great to meet you. There was a couple from Inverness, which is another city here in Florida, and I got the hey right there inside the theater. So it was kind of wow. It's wild, guys. It's again, without experiencing it, it's hard for me to describe to you how interesting that is. That all of a sudden, you everywhere you go, somebody knows you, and it was wild. It was wild. See you, Ellen. Hey, girl, I didn't even see you here. I'm glad you're here. How did Don and I meet and become BFFs? So Don helped. He did us a solid. Like when we were first doing YouTube, YouTube changed their policies, and I think we were making about $30 a month on YouTube, and I was really protective of that $30. I'd worked really hard to work for a whole month to make $1 a day. And they changed their policies, and it required having a certain amount of watch time and a certain amount of subscribers, or they were cutting the $30 a day, or $30 a month off. They were cutting off the $1 a day. And I had about, I don't know, a whole month to try to get from 639 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers, and I'd been trying really hard. And I said, well, you know what? I've been watching this Don guy for a while. Let me reach out to him. And I reached out and said, hey, man, you don't know me from anybody, but I'm up against the wall here. I'm trying to get over this, YouTube hump. And could you watch one or two of my videos? And if you like it, and only if you like it, could you just tell people about it? And he watched it, he liked it, and he told people about it. And within a few days, we got over 1,000 subscribers. So that was Don and I's first interaction. And then a few months later, that was in early, I feel like that was, that had to be early 2018. And then a few months later, he showed up and surprised Jenny and I on our anniversary on the MSCC side. And we spent that whole week getting to know each other. We wandered around Puerto Rico together, and we really became friends. We have a lot in common. He loves YouTube as a business as much as I love YouTube as a business. So he's one of the, sometimes you run into creators that they don't really care about the analytical side. They're like, hey, whatever happens, happens. And, but Don is into it. Like we're very fascinated by it. And so Don's great because we have great conversations, with our friend Emma Cruz's about the back end of YouTube and why it works, why it doesn't work, and how do you program content, like all that nerdy stuff that we love. And it's just been a building thing. Like he's been with us for three of the last 4 anniversaries. We couldn't do it because of COVID. And so, yeah, Don's a great guy, and he'll go to bat for you, and he's a real good friend to me, and I really appreciate Don. So, yeah, it's very rare. Again, I try to, you cast the net wide to try to make friends and collaborators and stuff like that. And sometimes you catch really good fish, and you ride with those fish for a while, and sometimes you catch fish and you end up, they throw you back or you throw them back. So it's been an interesting, that part of YouTube's also interesting. Oh, Fab's your life too. Jeremiah, it was great to meet you guys. Man, I met so many people this week. It was amazing. Lori Lewis, what's up? How is saying the shows are not ready being negative? Yeah, no, I mean, it's straight up. I mean, like they were talking about it themselves. And I agree. Thank you so much for the super chat. And you would have not liked The Magician because, look, I love magic. Let me just say that. But it was so funny, like this guy, Jamie Allen, he was so entertaining. I'm trying to give the guy as much props as I can. So entertaining, like his presentation was really nice. But there was a 15-minute hype reel. That's the only way I can describe it. It was a hype reel of every TV appearance that I feel like the guy had been on. And again, they showed like Harry Houdini, like Escape from the Chinese Water Torture, deal, big prop magic on the stage. And it was just like this huge hype reel. You're going to see Jamie Allen, get ready for your mind to be blown. And the guy came out and did like card tricks. He did card tricks that they had to put a camera on and put up on a screen in this huge theater that was packed out. And I was like, wow, this was not like the hype. The show did not meet the hype. And again, I was just shocked. I was surprised. Lori Lewis, you would not have liked that magic show. Ever thought about a transatlantic? Certainly. I think we would like it. Again, I think I would love to cruise 21 days. I just don't think we did it right. I mean, I hope that came through in the video today. We definitely want to cruise 21 days, 30 days, 50 days. But I think you just got to do that on the same ship where you unpack once and you get your laundry done. And I think that would be the cool, like, but the way that we did it, like cruise, we get our laundry done, get off a ship for 4 hours, get back on another ship, unpack, cruise, pack, get a home, go home, rental car place, drive, Alligator Alley, come home 4 days, scramble like crazy people to get work done, scramble, pack the car, wash the clothes, pack, drive 4 hours, Alligator Alley, boring, pick up the rental car. Like, that's the way it feels in my head. It was also, and by the end of 21 days, it's like, holy crap, man, could we just, this is a lot. I think that's what did it, you know, more so than the ships or anything like that. It was just that cadence that, you know, I just think we should have done it a different way. The lesson learned. I mean, again, it was still a cool experience, but it's definitely a lesson learned. Let's see. Do we live in Florida? Can we drive to the ships? Yes, Elaine. We live in north of Tampa, and we usually drive down to the ships. We know you love the towel animals. Ever thought of going into an enrichment class on cruise to learn the ancient art? I've been to a towel folding animal class, a towel origami class, and I hate it just as much after doing that. So, what are your plans in LA after you get off the Panama Canal? I don't know, Eric. We got to figure it out. I would like to do a West Coast cruise down to the Mexican Riviera. I'd like to pick up a different cruise line, maybe Holland America. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to do. I'd like to go to the Griffin Observatory in L.A. where everybody goes. And then I'd like to go to L.A. and not to L.A., but Las Vegas. So we still got to figure it out. The mode of transportation is going to be the biggest nut to crack in L.A. And look, Jenny looked up this number, and I still don't believe it. She said to rent a car from a month from L.A. to drop back off in Florida was $8,000. It's amazing. Like, that's so expensive. So we got to figure out, and I know like Nautical Nurse Nancy's here, and I think they skipped renting a car and rented some sort of like moving van or something that renting's so expensive. I'll have to ask her about that. Alden Lambert, thank you so much for the super chat. Cruising is not real travel. Okay. That's fine. Like, I don't know, like what's the point, Alden? It's still cruising. Like, do you not like it? Or I don't know. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for paying $2 to make your statement that nobody cares about. Let's see. Have you ever been through the Panama Canal? You're in for an unbelievable trip for the first time. Never been through the Panama Canal. Yeah, I feel like Alden just wants some attention. Can everybody give Alden a virtual hug? Alden's the world traveler. Yeah, obviously cruising is real travel. You know, you don't have to justify yourself to the trolls. But if you want, everybody ignore Alden unless he gives me $20. Alden, make another statement, but this time make it for $20. Let's see. Question, what is your take on live vlogging in public areas? Several vloggers on the Wonder live stream their dinners with other passengers in the background. Thoughts? So my thoughts are this. There is no expectation of privacy in public places. So anywhere that you go, you should expect to be filmed. Now, I don't like live streaming that is disruptive to other passengers' guest experience. And I've caught the grief sometimes, like, hey, how come it doesn't look like anybody is on the cruise ship? Well, for me, I'm not really interested in filming other people. Like, I'm interested in filming Jenny. I'm interested in filming the cruise ship. Sometimes when I film, I have to see other people. But most of the time when you're filming, you don't really care who's around you. Like, you have to get in that headspace so that you could do your thing. Like, unfortunately, one of the days, the shows last week, the only thing that I could do was film on the boardwalk. And that's the only place that had no more music. I pointed the camera at the wall. I knew that people were going to be walking by, but I just went for it because that was my only option. I was up on a deadline. But my druthers, my preference would be not to film with anybody behind me. So, but it happens. But again, disruptive is kind of, I think if it's disruptive, it's not good. We love you, Alden. Travels. Cruising's not real travel. I said it. I said it. Yeah. Tropical Tom Garcia, thank you so much for the super. Oh, how about this, Alden? Cruising is surreal travel. How about that? You got one-upped by Tropical Tom Garcia. You only paid $2 to make your big statement? I don't think you believe in your own cause, Alden. Let's see. What is my story behind the dislike of towel animals? I think they take up too much space. I think they're a waste of time. I think they're novel. I think they're fun to look at. But again, by the end of the week, we never destroyed Jenny's birthday cake. We never destroyed the thing that they put the sunglasses on, and we had a third one. And every time we wanted to do something in the cabin, it's like, oh, move the towel animal over here. We can't break the towel animal. Let's move that over here. It's like, there's no utility in it for me. Like, I don't know if you guys know this about cruise cabins. They're not very big. And now I'm shuffling around laundry, folded up laundry, origami towels to try to live a life. It's so crazy. Jill Freelander, how much airtime should I give you for you complaining about airtime? Let's see. When I pay for the... let's see. Question. Any idea when cruises will not require a test? No, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Thank you, Jordan. Lori Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Bravo, Tony. I won't go near a vlogger's cruise because I don't want to be filmed. We like our autonomy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, for the most part, everybody I know is not really looking to film somebody else. Surely, occasionally there'll be people behind you. You can't really avoid it in certain situations. Like if I'm trying to show you the water slide, there's going to be somebody on the water slide. But yeah, it's a weird scenario because the cruise lines obviously want people to come on and film their cruise ships. It's a form of advertisement and for them. And so they're not like saying, hey, don't film on our cruise ships. And again, take the vlogger aspect out of it. Think about how many people you see filming with the cell phone. Like, I didn't see a vlogger filming the sprinklers on the Wonder. I just saw a bunch of people with cell phones. So I think it's easy to go, these vloggers, everybody's got a camera, y'all. So, I mean, just because you see a camera, it doesn't mean it's a vlogger. It's so crazy. Brad Baker, they're equally bad. I don't like towels or it's showtime. At least showtime doesn't last very long and I can avoid it. Cruise line that I prefer. I like Royal. If you made me go on a cruise line, I would go on Royal Caribbean on the Oasis class, but I also like their design for the Promenade. They're good stuff. Question, how do vloggers film when they're filmed and shown in other folks' video? I don't know what that means. Cajun Channel, rephrase that. I'm not sure what your question means. That's right, Pia. Yeah, that would be worrisome if you were picking your nose and you ended up. Douglas, I hope there's new shirts in the works. I got a lot of responses from graphic designers, so I'm trying to templatize that work. Let's see, but everyone doesn't have 100,000 followers watching their videos. That's true. You might just be the fodder of some dinner party or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing, like when you're on a cruise ship, there's really no promise of privacy when you're in a public area. I do sing karaoke on the cruise. I like it when there's people with me. Like, I don't usually just go one-off by myself, but yeah. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, it was really nice to hang out with Brian, and it did get me a little emotional. How do vloggers feel when they are filmed by normal guests and their footage shows up on random? Again, I don't expect any privacy when I'm in public like that. It's weird when people start to know who you are and then people are just filming you because you, like most of the time when I film people or people that are in my shot, it's not because I know who those people are, but I feel like most of the time when I get filmed by other people, it's because they know who I am. So that's a weird scenario, like when you're just eating your lobster and you look over and somebody's got their little, like, they're like, oh, there's Tony eating lobster. Look at that. That's a weird scenario, but I am out in public, so I don't, it is what it is, right? Nicole Hardgrave, thank you so much for the super chat. Just saying thanks for all the content we love to watch here in our household. P.S. We hope to video bomb some vlogger footage someday. Yes, that is true. And I tell you what, now, and I might be different than this. Anybody that on purpose photo bombed, especially if I'm trying to do something serious, like if I'm doing the show, if you intentionally photo bomb me, I will re-record that section without you. So that's pretty rude. That'd be like if you were making sandwiches at Subway and I crawled over the counter and put my hand in your sandwich while you were trying to finish it up. That's the way I look at it. So you can obviously tell when I'm working, if I'm off by myself filming and you can somehow somehow get behind me and ruin my shot, it's a pretty crappy move, honestly. But if I'm just out walking on the promenade and I'm filming, jump all over the place. I don't care about that. So I think you can obviously tell. And yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, our job's so weird because, like, it's the only place where people are like, hey, I can screw up your job. How about that? Woohoo! And it's really not endearing. And then the same person's like, can I get a picture? Oh yeah, well, why not? Thanks for screwing up my work. Appreciate it. Shadowcat, thank you so much for the super chat. Have you considered Fiverr for yeah? So like the princess, like the Disney style drawings of Jenny and I came off of Fiverr. But what I didn't like about Fiverr is the absence of a connection to the person that I can pass my vision on to. So it can only go, so on Fiverr, you just write out what you want. I want to be able to talk to somebody and have a dialogue back and forth, and I'm willing to pay more for that, like a designer where I can say, do you get what I'm saying there? Do you feel what I'm saying? And we can go back and forth. So I'm looking to engage a legit graphic designer that I can work with like that. Let's see. Yeah, so Tropical Tom Garcia, the proper cruise to home ratio is 3 point. Yeah, I think you're right. If you think of it, we did 13 cruises. I've done 13 cruises in 10 months. And so I'm about 1 cruise a month. So I'm okay with that cadence. But again, I want to be more intentional about it. Was the Wonder easily? Yeah, those Oasis class ships are so easily laid out. They're straight lines. They're straight. If you just know what deck you're supposed to be, like, you want to go to the casino, to the comedy club, to the art gallery, you go to deck 4. Easy peasy. It's all right there. If you want to go get your coffee, that's all deck 5, and it's all right there. You know, if you want to go to Central Park, that's deck 8. You know how to get there. If you want to go to the boardwalk, it's deck 6, and it's so easy. If you want to go top decking to swimming and all that, the layout is so nice. It's just big, but it's so nice. So nice. Will Jubilee and Celebrate, Betty Sims, will the Jubilee and Celebration be the same as the Mardi Gras? It'll probably be different. The ship class is the same, right? So the layout, the hull, I don't know the best way to say it. There's obviously gonna be changes because you would hope that they learned something from Mardi Gras that they could improve on the Jubilee and the Celebration. So while the ship will be the same shape and dimension, that kind of stuff, hopefully the insides will be enhanced by learning that they've gotten along the way. Question, have you taken a gallon tour on the ships? Thoughts about it? It was fascinating. There's one video from our Celebrity Equinox series where we filmed the galley, we filmed behind the scenes at the theater, and we were on the bridge. And that was really cool. So, like, if you really want to see those 3 things, go look for the Celebrity Equinox, our playlist. And it was cool. They told us how they got rid of the garbage. I liked it. Yeah, Diva Timble, that's the same. You know, again, just to close the book on it, vloggers really aren't looking to vlog people they don't know. Like, the whole thing, like, if I put some stranger in my video, like, you guys know me, and you know Jenny, and you may know some of the other characters of our cast. You may know my brother and my sister-in-law. But if I bring somebody new in, if I bring just somebody random that's passing on the cruise, I got to do the work to make you care about those people. And so that's a lot of work. And so for me, like, it's just easier just to leave the subjects in the video of the people that you know. And so think about it like that. It's like storytelling. What made me become a vlogger, Amika? So the reason that we do this is we were going on our first cruise. We got to a point where we didn't have any kids living with us anymore. We were going on our first cruise as something to do together as a couple because our whole existence as a couple involved kids. And we wanted to make sure that we documented it so that if something ever happened to us, our kids could have footage of us. Both of our fathers passed away somewhat early. I don't have a lot of audio video of my dad, to the point where 20 years after my dad passed, I was given a VHS tape and played the voice, and I didn't recognize the voice anymore. That was really sad to me. And so we wanted to leave something for our kids. That was the whole thing. But then shortly after we made the first set of vlogging videos, I made an educational video, like, is Faster the Fun? Jenny and I made video, Faster the Fun. Is it good? Is it not good? And I realized that I had an opportunity to help people with their cruising experience, and it kind of just went from there. So yeah, I feel very lucky. Very lucky. Nicole Hardgrave, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so sorry, not what I meant. Totally just meant not worried about being in the background of footage to counter the concerns some folks had. Video bomb was a poor I wasn't giving you a hard time. It was just a blanket statement, Nicole. I wasn't coming at you personally. Sorry about that. I'm just very passionate about some stuff. When people intentionally mess with your work, it blows my mind a little bit. Because, yeah, just... It just blows my mind. Angela Paya, thank you so much for the super chat. Love watching Tony. Learn lots with a few laughs along the way. Oh, thank you. Very kind. Very kind. Question, do they still have the cantilevered hot tubs on the Wonder? What does cantilevered mean? Like it's hanging over the side? Like I believe they still in the Serenity, not Serenity, in the Solarium, they still have the hot tubs that are off to the side of the ship. And then on the pool deck, they have some interesting hot tubs now where you can see the people's legs, which is weird. But yeah, I think that may answer your question. Royal or Carnival, your honest opinion? I would choose Royal over Carnival because I would go Oasis, and then if you're going to cruise Carnival, I would go Mardi Gras. But that's my honest opinion. Is there a content provider that you haven't met and you want to, and why? That's a great question, Paul. There's a guy that was a daily vlogger for 6 years that does a lot of nomad stuff, and he's around here in Florida, Adam the Woo. The guy's an interesting character. He made interesting vlogs, and he seems like he would be a fun person to meet. I'd like to meet that guy. I would like to meet Gary Bembridge from Tips from Travelers. I would like to meet Sherry from Cruise Tips TV face-to-face. I've had interaction. I'd like to meet Tommy Casabona from Always Be Booked. We've only known each other virtually. So yeah, there's definitely, every time you meet a new content creator, I'd like to meet Emma face to face. So it's, we have an interesting community, but the community kind of, I went to VidCon in LA really just to see what Mr. Beast looked like and Peter McKinnon. And I never even really met them. I just kind of went to look at them. So it's a weird community that we're in. It's very funny. Yeah, I did meet Ordinary Adventures. That was so exciting. Lester Knight, we're on shipmate as La Lido Loca, all one word, La Lido Loca. I've heard that Emma's real and that she likes potatoes. Yeah, I know. I see Adam with a lot of people in the Florida area. Like I see him, I would just have to go to one of those Florida places, but I see him with like Tim Tracker and all those people. Any thoughts on bringing Cruise Wars back in the mix? Maybe. We'd have to do it differently, Brad. Like, I think we did everything that we could do with Cruise Wars. I think we did 40-something episodes, and it was fun for the moment. But, things change. We try not to fit too many, square pegs and round holes, and that's what Cruise Wars feels like right now, just trying to do something that we've already done. What advice would you give a first-time cruiser? So the biggest advice is make sure you have all your travel documentation in your hand when you go to get on the cruise ship. Not in a bag somewhere, not inaccessible. Make sure you have everything that you need at that moment to get on the cruise ship, because that's one of your biggest moments of stress. And then when you get on the cruise ship, the other thing I would advise is make yourself aware of everything that's going on the cruise ship, but don't try to do everything. So there's two ways you can go about it. You can completely ignore everything that's going on the cruise ship, and I think you'll miss out on some really interesting things. The other way you could do it is you could be aware of everything and try to do everything, and you're going to wear yourself out. I think the magic, the balance, the sweet spot is be aware of everything. So look at the app or look at the piece of paper, take a highlighter, highlight the things that you want to do, and then try to do a few of those things. And don't ever feel bad if you don't do them all. But I think the worst thing is if you get to the end of the cruise and go, oh, I didn't even know that was on there. Those would probably be my thing, and just enjoy it. Don't overpack if you can. Man, it was really interesting on the Wonder. I took what'd I take? 6 black t-shirts and 3 pairs of shorts and only 2 button-up shirts. It was so easy to get ready every day. It was just like shorts and black t-shirt, shorts and black t-shirt. It was so liberating that I didn't have to worry about my clothes. So don't overpack. That's what I'm saying. Favorite ship, Oasis of the Seas. Travels with Doug, just search for Cruise Wars. It's like 40 episodes of Jenny and I arguing with each other. And basically, we do it in funny ways, funny jokes. We take a cruise topic, we take point, counterpoint, and we just argue with each other. It's pretty fun. Laser tag was open. Had a good time with Don playing laser tag. The escape room was closed. There were game shows on the Wonder of the Seas. We saw the Battle of the Sexes. I don't know if there was a Love and Marriage show. I don't know. Adam Day, thank you so much for the super chat. When it comes to the Ultimate Dining Package, we reserved a slot for our reservation. When it comes, are we reserved? No, you have to, this is what sucks. Try to get an early check-in time. You can't really reserve your slots until you get on the cruise ship. If you get on the cruise ship late, you're gonna have crazy dining times. And so you gotta reserve all that crap. So the first time it's very frustrating. I love the Ultimate Dining package. Like I loved it on Odyssey because I ate a ton of sushi. It was awesome. But it was really hard to get reservations, and that ship wasn't even close to full. Almost every night, once we got on the cruise ship, almost every night for specialty dining on Wonder was already all booked. And so, yeah, be very proactive about that. Get on the ship as early as possible and reserve your shows. Reserve your restaurants first and your shows second, because all that stuff was doing that. Is only having one flow rider an issue? I got as much use out of the one flow rider as I did for both flow riders, so it was not an issue for me. I didn't hear it being an issue for anybody else. Question: if you're on a 2-hour flight from your cruise terminal, do you still recommend? Yeah, I mean, it's the same for driving for 2 hours. If you're 2 hours away, do you drive or not drive? You run the risk of everything being screwed up. I think the odds of a canceled flight, I don't know, is the odds of a canceled flight greater than a flat tire? Either way, I think the most safe, the less risky is coming in the night before, but it's more expensive. I don't know. What do you guys say? It's a great question. Adam Day, thank you for the super chat. But it's a great question. If you're a 2-hour flight, like that day that I flew to Miami, I didn't go in the day before, I don't think. I think I just flew in the same day of the cruise. Did I just fly in the same day of the cruise, or did I go the day before? I don't know. I might have went the day before, and then I did go the day before and stayed at the Radisson Red. Yeah, so I was only a half-hour flight away in Miami, and I flew down and stayed the day before. I flew home the same day. Do I think the key's worth it? I've never done it. I know it includes your internet and you get a special meal. I think somebody worked the math out on it, and because it includes the internet, it is worth it, but I've never done it. Let's see. Question from Colorado Mike. Do you know if you can intentionally get off at a port of call and make your own way back home? I don't know. I'd check with the cruise line on that. Like if you want to end your cruise early and go home. I don't know. What's in the other flow rider was replaced by a new kids water area, and the mini golf is up there. They must have worked the numbers on it, right? That one flow rider would support what they wanted to do. I don't know. So, Kim, did I see Victor Key when he was on America's Got Talent? I don't know if I did. I feel like I may have, or I may have seen it on YouTube. I definitely saw him in the O Show in Las Vegas. That's where I remember him from, because the O Show was really the first aqua theater show I'd ever seen put on by Cirque du Soleil. I think that's why I liked it so much on the cruise ship. Let's see. Yes, what's risky? Flying across the world to go on a Caribbean cruise and being, yes, yeah, if you definitely want to test before you go across the world, for sure. Petey Bird, thank you so much for the super chat. Tony and Jenny Rock, thank you for all you do and share with us. Our pleasure. Thank you so much for the super chat. Super chatty. Wow, are we 2 hours into this? How long do you guys want to go? How many people are here? Do we have a 500 likes yet? What's going on? I haven't even looked at any of the numbers. 935 people here. What do we got? We got 1,000 likes. I mean, I keep going. Like, it's been a while since we were live, so I'm trying to give you as much as you want. Man, what did I watch? HBO's got a new series about how the LA Lakers came to be, and John C. Reilly is playing Jerry Buss. It was entertaining. I think it only comes on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to getting that tonight. New show. Steam and Bean, thank you so much. He saw me sing a little Garth on America's Got Talent. Christina Martin, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chatty. Traveler 320 AK, I am a retired airline pilot. I would advocate flying in the day before the cruise if bad weather happened. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? Like, we you know, better safe than sorry. Question, what is your favorite thing to do in Cozumel? What have I done in Cozumel? You know, I've gone to Mr. Sancho's a couple times. That's pretty fun. That's just swimming and drinking. What else? I would like to go to Mega. I've never really went to Mega. What else? I feel like I took a tour of Cozumel, like a rum tour. Most of the time I just walk around the port and look at the stuff. But any of that stuff is fun. Cozumel's a really good spot for kind of beach escapes. We went to Paradise Beach one time and had a small villa or house that housed about 10 of us, and it had lunch and drinks included. That was somewhat fun. Shauna, I did answer the why I don't like towel animals. I think they take up too much space in the cabin. I don't like moving them around to not destroy them, and it just feels like a waste of time to me. They're kind of neat, but it's not I don't feel like it enhances it. If I'm not a drinker, do you recommend the refreshment pack? Like if you're not a drinker, I wouldn't recommend an alcoholic package. I would go for maybe a higher end non-alcoholic package so that you can get your coffees and sodas and water. But yeah. Favorite place to stay in Port Canaveral? It's got to be Country Inn and Suites. Resort at the port is nice also. It's usually more crowded, but both of them have good shuttles to the cruise port. Question, I'm not a big RCL cruiser. I was interested in Celebrity On. Does Celebrity honor Crown and Anchor status? Stacy, I'm not 100% sure. I think on some level, I believe that I heard in the Celebrity family it does. Jenny B, do you know if the status goes across in the Celebrity family from Royal to Celebrity? Oh, that sounds fun. Douglas Braid did the Atlantis submarine tour in Cozumel a few years ago, and they all enjoyed it. I like that. Favorite place to stay in Galveston? Dan, we've only been there one time, and I got no idea what hotel we stayed at. It was a couple years ago. I think it was kind of close to the port, which was nice. John Wagner, thank you so much for the super chat. Best chicken sandwich? I'm going to say, because you can get 4 different options at Shack, I would go Shack. The cool thing is you could do both. I mean, like, you don't have to make the choice because when you're on Carnival, you're not going to have access to the Coco Cay chicken sandwich, and when you're at Coco Cay, you're not choosing between that and Shack. So I would say wherever you're at. But if you're choosing a cruise just on chicken sandwich, I would probably choose the Coco Cay one because you would get Coco Cay with that. But I like the Shack options. Let's see. Have we cruised to Aruba? No, but it's on the list this year. We'll definitely be going. Starbucks order, very simple. We get the Trenta iced coffee. It already comes with 7 pumps of classic, and then we have them add a splash of cream. Is there a place to store? That's a great question, Devin Jazz 2012. Is there a place to store suitcases while you're on the cruise? Most of the time you stick them under the bed. The pro tip is if you have a medium-sized suitcase and a large suitcase, once you empty out the large suitcase, put your empty medium one in it and just slide all that under the bed. Sometimes you'll run into a cabin that's got a ton of space. You could be there by yourself. You could just leave it in the closet, but most of the time they go under the bed. Question, how does the shore excursion of the airboat ride in Miami work? How do you get there, and how do they get you back to the airport to catch your... I've never been on it, Eddie. That's a pretty specific question. You may want to ask. Has anybody been on the airboat ride in Miami? Whatever cruise line that is. Normally, when you get off the cruise ship and there's an excursion on disembarkation day, they have shuttle back and forth. Usually, they handle your luggage for you if you've got an airport component to it, and that excursion will usually include getting you from the cruise terminal to your excursion to the airport. I think that's pretty standard. Question, will we be adding more group cruises for 2020? Right now, no. The current schedule is what the current schedule is, and we're having a big debate here at Lido Loca headquarters if and what other group cruises will be available going forward. This could be your last chance. But I don't know. I can see Jenny looking at me with stern eyes through the walls right now. But yeah, what it is what it is. Question, I know it depends on the port, and I know you're not a beach person, so which do you prefer, staying on the ship, taking a tour, or some activities? I like staying on the ship. Like, if I have my druthers, I usually stay on the ship, but I've been trying to do better about going and, like, if I go somewhere, like when my daughters wanted me to go to Chokchoban, I thought that was cool. I've obviously been off to see sloths and spider monkeys and that kind of stuff, so if there's a, like, I've already looked at the, excursions for the Island Princess, and I picked one out at each port. So my goal is to get off the cruise ship at these ports that I've never been to, so then I can experience it for myself and then share some of it with you guys. So it just depends. Like when you're saying, oh, you're going to Nassau again, I've walked around Nassau a few times, so I haven't gone to Atlantis to see the casino yet or anything, but it just depends. I mean, depends, you're right. That's the answer. It just depends. But if I had given my druthers and I've been somewhere before, I would probably stay on the ship. Most memorable cruise, it's hard to qualify that. I mean, I have memories from all of them, and I'm not much of a looker back. I'm always a looker forward, so most memorable cruise is the next one. I know that doesn't make sense, but I've had some that have been in a typhoon in China, and we've had the roof leak in a Carnival ship and met hundreds, if not thousands, of people across all these cruise lines. So it's kind of hard to quantify it. Port Everglades, love your show. Right now, we've been favoring the Hyatt Place or Hyatt House. They're right next to each other at Dania Beach. The prices have been good. The rooms have been big, and they've got good included breakfast and stuff. Let's see. What do you do in Mexican? What will you do in Mexico? So I was looking at a lot of the. I don't remember them off the top of my head. I did a couple that were Discovery recommended. I felt well. The one that I wanted to do was like everything. There's like a Skytram. I don't even remember which city. I'll have to look them up and I'll talk about them more. But yeah, Pia, on the Carnival Ecstasy, our whole roof flooded one time. If you guys want to see some good flooding, go watch those vlogs. Cruises on my bucket list. Chi-Town Mike, I did a whole video on it, like my top 10 bucket list. Honestly, until all this trouble in the Baltic, that was the top of my bucket list. But you know, I want to go to Europe. I'd like to do a British Isles. I'd like to go all around the Med. I would like to go to the Holy Lands. I would like to go to Greenland, Iceland. I would like to go anywhere that Amsterdam's a stop. So many places that I haven't been yet. Australia, big one. Hawaii, those kind of things. Never cruised out of Baltimore. How do you and Jenny like living in Florida? Love your channel. We like it. So my mother-in-law lives here. Jenny's got a lot of family here. This is where Jenny went to high school. And so we didn't have a good reason not to live in Florida anymore. Of course, it's nice being next to the cruise ports, but I think the biggest benefit of moving to Florida when we did is we kind of escaped the pandemic. Like if we had to ride the pandemic out in North Carolina, that would have been tough. We were living in a little small apartment at that time. And but I think it's good. It's good. You know, we're very blessed to be around family, and it's a cool place. It's usually warm down here. It's cold today, but very lucky to live in Florida. I think we made a good decision. Shauna Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry it's not much. Just wanted to thank you for answering my questions. Love from Nashville to you and Jenny. P.S. Have you cruised on the horizon? Thank you first and foremost for the super chat, and we certainly appreciate it. I'm so excited you're from Nashville. That was my town for almost 30 years. We've not cruised on the horizon. We've cruised on the Vista, which is a sister ship, and we will be on the horizon in October. So thank you for the super chat. Let me give you a little Harry Larry. Finish off my coffee here. We're about out. Question, when you were on the Majestic Princess in Alaska, did you have a mini suite and did it have a roof on the balcony? Oh, let's see, John. I feel like we did have mini suites there. I'm trying to remember that room, and I feel like it did have a roof on the balcony. I know that's pretty not a great answer. Maybe go check and see if I did the room tour. I got to get back into doing the room tours at the minimum. I don't really know. That's the other problem with cruising a lot. It all starts to run together, but that does sound familiar. Oh, Buccaneers podcast. Is he coming back? I heard there was like a negotiation even after he said that it was he was retiring, that he was coming back. Have you traveled anywhere overseas that wasn't on a cruise? No, the first time I left the continent, honestly, was to fly to China. I mean, I guess there was a cruise component of that. I did stay 4 days at Shanghai Disney. So, I mean, I flew to China and stayed in China for a few days. I didn't explore China before we got on the cruise. That was the biggest. I'd been to Canada before. I'd been to Mexico before. But my first time off the continent was to fly to China for a few days and then go on a cruise. Derek David, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Super chatty.
Super chat.
The interesting thing, just to build on that, though, after I went to Japan, that was the first place that I went that I kind of wish I hadn't gone there on a cruise, that I would have just gone there and stayed there for a while. Is it better to book reservations at a restaurant or at customer service? Rachel B, it depends on the cruise line. Most of the time, they're pushing you to the restaurant. On the beginning day of the cruise, there's oftentimes places set up, at least for Royal, where you can book your stuff, but they want you to go into a restaurant. The restaurants are all on that reservation system. I can't think of a cruise line where I've gone to customer service and they were able to help me. Most of the time, they're pushing you toward the maitre d' or toward the restaurant. Don't like booking ahead because of the cancellation policies cruise lines seem to have. Yeah, you can just wait and book right before you go cruising. You lose out on the ability to pay over time, but as long as you're just sitting on the money and you want to go on a cruise next week, just book it and pay and go. That's probably the easiest way. Question, what do you do if you arrive early to the cruise terminal? Is there a waiting area? Most of the time not, Brenda. That's why they don't want you showing up early. A lot of these cruise terminals, if you show up early, they're just going to make you stand out in the weather. So That's why they want you to come in on time. It's been a little more tight since the beginning of, or since COVID. Some cruise lines are a little more tight than others, but yeah, that's frustrating. Like I hate when they tell you not to come early and then they don't really enforce it. So I've seen that happen a little bit. Question, what was it that hooked you on cruising after your first cruise on the Fantasy? Even with the glitches, you still got hooked. The thing that I like the most, and we've done a lot of traveling with our kids, and we've done a lot of traveling with family, and what I like, and what I like the most, and what I still like about cruising is it doesn't matter what everybody likes to do because everybody can do their own thing. Like when you're cruising with a bunch of family members just on land, it's such a hassle to come to some sort of compromise where you're going to eat, what you're going to do to entertain yourself. Some people might have different money, all this kind of stuff. On the cruise, everything is basically paid for. If you don't want to go to the show, you don't have to go to the show. If you don't want to eat at the main dining room, you don't have to eat at the main dining room. And the cool thing is nobody's really that uptight about it. So like if you go on with some family members and they don't want to do anything that you want to do, there's probably one thing that you guys want to do together. So you can do all that stuff separately and still feel like you're vacationing with the people that you want to vacation with. It's so hassle-free. And basically it is, for the most part, all included. And I like that aspect of it. No worrying about did I get my money's worth for the comedian? Did this show, was it great? Did I feel like I get my money's worth? Because you don't have to pay anything. So that's what I like about cruising. Travel insurance recommendation. I know there's a ton of different options. Look, I can't recommend insurance to you. I can tell you what we do. We bought an annual appliance. We bought an annual plan with Allianz, which I usually say as Alliance, but there's always somebody out there going, you know it's Allianz. But what's easier to try to look up, Alliance or Allianz? It's Allianz, I guess it's French, but it's spelled Alliance with a Z. We have a yearly plan. How was the comedian on The Wonder? I only saw a little bit of his set. Simeon, he was pretty funny. We never made it to... The other challenge with The Wonder is they were putting... The app was... Sometimes the show would be on the app and sometimes the show wouldn't be on the app. We completely missed one of the singers because when we were making our plan for the week, she wasn't on the schedule. And then the next day after she performed, everybody's like, man, we know you love the shows. Did you check out the singer? And it's like, no, it wasn't on the app. And they're like, yeah, it wasn't on our app either. And then it was on our app. And I was like, can you believe this? Like we missed that. Like we skipped the theater show because it showed that nothing was in the theater. So there was some challenges trying to get to everything. I think we hit the big entertainment stuff, but there was some challenges. But yeah, the challenge on the Celebrity Apex, there was this guy, Robbie Prince from Boston with like good Northeastern sensibilities. That guy was darn funny. Let's see, Steve, I don't know of any cruise lines right now that are taking unvaccinated cruisers, but make sure you check with whichever line you're interested in to see if they've changed their process. I think vaccines are going to be around for most of this year for sure. Yeah, yearly plan. I feel like it was a good deal. Like, I think if you're going to cruise like 3 or 4 times, it was cheaper than the one-offs. Let's see. Hello, can you tell about some people's channels who are on board? I don't know any of it. I don't know who, like, we're all off the ship now, so it's hard to say. There's a ton of people on there. But yeah, it was good. I don't know if there was a bridge tour on the Wonder. I wasn't privy to one, but there could have been one. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Simeon does impressions. I like that. I like an impressionist. I did enjoy the Wonder. Again, I was disappointed that I didn't get the full experience, and one of my philosophies is because there's so many different cruise ships out there, I want to try them all, and so I'm very hesitant to repeat. Even though I love the Oasis of the Seas and it's changed, I've never run back to try it again, and so I think, knowing now what I know, I'm going to be very hesitant to get on an Inaugural because I'm going to be asking the question, okay, is everything that's supposed to be on there? And again, I mean, to be fair, we are dealing with COVID, and so it makes sense that everything wasn't on there that should have been on there. But at the same time, I think I had this it was probably unrealistic expectation. I just thought since it was the first thing and it was so hyped, as like, here it is, the first sailing of the world's largest cruise ship for paying passengers. I just thought it would all be there. And again, that's probably on me. Like everybody said, oh, you should know by now that inaugural sailings suck. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. Like, why wouldn't you make the debut of your thing be like super great? Like, I think that that's dumb, that that's a standard in cruising, that inaugural sailings or first sailings suck. And, but I guess it's a thing. Lesson learned on my part. I will never be that hyped up again. I will just be asking the question, like, is it all there? Okay, then I don't want to go. Let's see. And look, I've heard a lot of people say that they've been on inaugural cruises that were fully baked, which was good. Angela M, I probably won't link the insurance again. I don't have a recommendation. It's just called Alliance. You have to look for it. Alliance. Did I like Cats? I did like Cats. Now, I know Cats isn't everybody's cup of tea. I did spend 2 full hours trying to figure out what the heck that story was about. I finally came to the point that it was a redemption story, and I started watching it from that perspective, like, you know, how many of us in life, you know, want to be redeemed from a, like, you know, anyways, I got deep into it. I was loving it. Then they sang the song, the famous song. I cried. It was beautiful. And then I went home and pulled up the soundtrack for 2 months on the Apple Music, and I dug it. I think it's amazing. There's a reason that show ran for so long. It's visually impressive. The songs are really good, and there was an underlying story there that I think most human beings can connect to. And yeah, I love live performance. You know, it's funny that way. I did see Don shoveling the snow in Canada. I felt bad. I think he knew what he was getting into. He's pretty familiar with Canada, but yeah, I'm glad I'm not shoveling snow. I did not sing any karaoke on this cruise. There was karaoke. Again, like if there would have been a group that went to do karaoke, I'd have been down with it. But I probably need to get into the karaoke scene more. I love singing karaoke. I need to get into the karaoke scene a little more. I'm pretty much locked into the casino scene, like late night casino, but I probably need to get some space. A lot of times the karaoke's at different times and it's not all that set apart, but so. Amika, yeah, I'm pretty sure there were unvaccinated people on Wonder, but I think it's mostly kids. So again, I don't think anybody is. I don't think anybody's going, hey, if you don't want the vax, you can come cruising right now. I think there's still rules in place, and I think most of the unvaccinated cruisers are kids that can't get the vax. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Pia. Yeah, it's funny. Cats, again, it broke out when I was a senior in high school, and I've got some interesting connection. Candy Smith, we were doing great with our weight loss. We go for our official weigh-in on Friday, and I think we're both down still, so it's all good. You know, I haven't seen anything that suggests the test will go away. The fact that the mask didn't go away in the terminal, it's just going to be a slow roll. Like I said that a few videos ago, like restrictive change comes quick. Boom, mass test, boom, boom, comes quick. But I think the the undoing of the restrictive change goes slowly. So we got to wait a whole nother month for the everybody to give the okay for masks to go away. And let me say this again. I feel like it's okay. I feel like I should say it in a public forum. At the end of the day, I am a consumer of a business. And I believe in American capitalism, even though that cruise lines aren't really American companies. I believe in a business's right to set up their health protocols. And it's up to the consumer to look at those health protocols and decide whether or not they want to use that business. And if you want to use the business, you have to follow the rules that are put forth. And I can say all of that without making any kind of statement about whether I think these protocols are valid or needed or science-based or anything like that. And so it blows my mind the amount of time that people waste in the comments like, well, you know, it doesn't work or this or that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The cruise lines set their rules. If you want to follow the rules, go cruising. If you don't want to follow the rules, don't go cruising. Or write your congressman or write the cruise company. But sounding off in social media about the validity of whether a mask can stop spit or not, I just don't think you're going to get anywhere. I just believe in using your energy in a way that's effective, and I just don't think that's effective. I'm off the soapbox. Thank you so much. So karaoke on cruising, is it a thing? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Celebrity does karaoke, all of them do it. Yeah, so there you go. The adults can get an exemption. Again, check with your cruise line. Who's my favorite cruise director thus far? I tell you what, I love on Carnival, I love the Flying Scotsman, Chris Williamson, such a talented guy. And then I really love Giuseppe on Celebrity Apex. The guy was so engaging and so nice. And I think we've made a little bit of a friendship. So yeah, big ups to Giuseppe on Celebrity Apex. Let's see. Any tips, pros, con for MSC? Never sailed with them. Be interested in the Caribbean. It's good. Like, I tell you what, they get beat up a little bit for the food, and I think it's fair. But the thing is, like, MSC does really good competing on price. They're really trying to take away, they're really trying to snag the Carnival and the Royal Caribbean cruiser that's looking for a nice low price to get on a cruise. And their hardware is nice. Like, those ships are nice. They're shiny. They got a lot of cool stuff technology-wise. But the entertainment's interesting because a lot of the performers are European performers who English isn't their first language. And so they'll be singing in English, and it will sound a little different. And so I think that some people, they get a knock on their entertainment sometimes because people go, oh, there's something just not right about that. But I think that's what it is you have non-English speakers performing English songs. And it sounds almost like a phonetic, like when I used to sing a lot, I would sing in Latin and Italian and German and French. I don't speak all those languages. And so I had to work a lot on making sure that I sounded like in the correct accent when I sang those things. I think that's what you're running into. And then the food is, I would say, mediocre at best, like in the buffet and in the main dining room. So I think if you're a foodie, you might be disappointed with MSC, but it's again, for the price you pay, I think you get an excellent product. What was the highlight of the cruise for me and Jenny? Just being with Jenny. I mean, we just had some moments of hanging out. I love sitting in the casino with Jenny, smashing buttons sometimes, just looking at her. And again, we had a couple times where we snuck into a corner and just had pizza and recapped the day. And you know, we're really simple. I mean, we are really simple people. We live a blessed life, and I think every day we really work hard to make each other feel special. And we give gifts not just on birthdays and special occasions. And so we're cruising as part of our relationship. And just the fact that we get to be on the high seas together and do what we love is, it's all pretty special, right? And so it's nice. And then coming home and driving home and goofing off and being home together and getting rest together, it's... What can I say, man? I mean, we're very lucky. We're very lucky. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dave. I appreciate the entertainment you provide on a subject that I enjoy. Here's some caffeine for you. I know I'm getting low. All right, I'll still do 24 minutes. We'll cut this off at 8. I think maybe Pair DJ does Sunday night, right? It's Sunday, right? Is it Sunday? Tomorrow's Monday? Sunday? All right. I wasn't going to talk about this. But the biggest thing that I'm struggling with The Daily Show is I want to templatize The Daily Show. I want to be able to have like a section for news, and I want to have a section for like cruise talk, but I still want to make it somewhere between the 8 and 15 minute, but I need a name for The Daily Show. The Cruise News Show makes it seem like it's all too much cruise news, and I think some people get confused, like, oh, this wasn't just straight cruise news, this is some guy talking about stuff. So while cruise news is a great search term, which works really well for YouTube, I need the cruise show. What should I call the show? And it has to be something with search terms. So we need cruise, we need news, or we need something. That's your homework. Leave a comment below. What should I call the show? I would really love to be able to come up with a name for the show and say, boom, this is episode 1. And then we can start chronicling it. I talked about these news stories. This was the thing I talked about. Because I got thousands of videos now, and I've talked about thousands of things, and I got no way to reference it. And so if I don't templatize it, and if I don't make a show out of it, and really get somebody to help me catalog that show, who knows what I talked about, right? Somebody will be like, remember that video when you said that thing? And it's like, maybe I've said 1,000 million things. So there's your homework. What should we call the show? What should we call The Daily Show, guys? 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, maybe Monday through Friday. Is it the cruise show? Is it the cruise news show? Is it the cruise news with Tony B? Is it Lido Loca presents the cruise news? I don't know. All right, Lorelei Eddie, thank you so much for the super chat. Springstead grad from Spring Hill, resident in the house, and married in Weeki Wachee in 1984, Pine Island and Hospital Hill. I know all those places, and I barely live here. That's where Jenny graduated high school also. Thank you so kindly for the super chat. Christina Shepard, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy to have you back. Appreciate it. Charles Sanders. I'm gonna hide your comment. You guys watch out for Charles Sanders. A little bit of a ooh. Oh no, I approve Charles Sanders. Yeah, Charles, what are you all about, man? Like, are you trying to get a rise out of yourself? I don't know. It's very weird. All right, let's see. Cruise news with your boy. I don't know if that's gonna. It's got to sound somewhat professional. Oh, D&J are not streaming tonight, connection. Well, look, I mean, 3 hours is going to be enough, right? I got a sweat here. I don't really have any more coffee. That kind of thing. Cruise compass. It's kind of already used, though, by, like, one of the cruise lines. Morning cruise chat. I don't think that would lock me into mornings. These are great ideas. I'm gonna look when the show's over. Please come back and leave a comment. It's really hard for me to read these comments, so that's gonna be your homework. Hit the like button, and then when the show's over, yeah. See Tony's tidbits. Nobody's gonna find cruise from that. Let's start thinking YouTube, guys. We got to get cruise. I'm hesitant to call it cruise news though, because then I don't know. Like the cruise news show is available all over the place, but then again All right. Have I seen the mermaid show on Wiki Watchy? I have not, but the first time I came to town with Jenny, I went to Thanksgiving with her family, and I met a mermaid, and that was a whole interesting thing. Like, I can't even remember the girl's name. I don't think she's dating anybody in the family anymore. Like, so-and-so and so-and-so, she's a mermaid. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Steam and Bean from Canada. Thank you, Scotty, for the super chat. Super chat. Lester, we've already gone down the road of Lido Loca not being a great brand name. So, any other questions? After the cruise, you can talk about cruising or anything. It's got to fit on a t-shirt, guys. There's a lot of I'm giving you guys a lot of limitations. We need the perfect like 3 or 4 word name. Would you recommend the larger ship or smaller ship for first-time cruisers? So I'm of 2 schools of thought on this. The Carnival Fantasy was great for us because you could walk from the front to the back of the ship in about 10 minutes. It took less than an hour to understand everything that was on the cruise ship. So pretty quickly on that cruise, you knew everything that was available to you. However, with it being a small cruise ship, there wasn't there was enough available. You had included food and you had drinks and you had some entertainment, a swimming pool. But like when you go on a large cruise ship, you can see the best of what cruising has to offer for you. So it's kind of hard. If you have any motion sickness concerns, I would go on a larger cruise ship. If you're looking to be straight up entertained, like if you're going on a cruise to get your drink on, to lay out by the swimming pool, maybe catch a show and gamble, small cruise ship's going to do it for you. But if you need a little more than that, if you need a laser tag, or if you need a rock wall, if you need a flow rider, if you need some top-notch entertainment, if you need some different choices for food that you can pay for, then you got to go big cruise ship. And if you're worried about getting seasick, I would go bigger cruise ship. I hope that makes sense. Question, Sweet Cell, thank you for the super chat. How is the internet on Wonder versus Sky? We just cruised on Regal and have booked the transatlantic on Wonder, but I'll need to work. How is it on the Regal? The Sky was fast. It was 20 meg down and 20 meg up. 20 meg up on a cruise ship. 20 meg up on a cruise ship. 20. So I don't know if you guys know this, but for a YouTuber, you want a good upload speed, and 20 is almost as fast as I have at the house. So it was fantastic on the Sky. On the Wonder, it was about 3 meg down and about 2 meg up. And so what I do when I go cruising is I try to understand my workflow because I have to upload every day. And so pretty quickly I understood that if I wanted to do a 10-minute video, it would take about 2.5 hours to upload on the Wonder. And so if I wanted to make my 12 o'clock time, I had to be uploading by 10 o'clock, which means I had to find a place to film by 8 o'clock and get it all edited. So to answer your question in the longest way possible, the Sky was much better than the Wonder, but the Wonder was workable. What was most challenging of those 3 was the Apex, and it wasn't even 1 meg up. It took 4 hours. I was down resing stuff to make it smaller to try to get it uploaded quicker. Thank you for the super chat. Derek David, thank you for the other super sticker. Philip Cardinal, can't wait to go on a cruise with y'all. Yeah. We're not as fun as we seem, I mean, we're still kind of, shy, nerdy people, but definitely enjoy seeing you on a cruise. Harmony or Oasis? Candy Smith, if I was choosing right now, of course I've gone on both and I don't repeat, Whichever one. So I would go on Harmony because I didn't get to see Grease on there, so I would probably duplicate Harmony. But I know that there's some nice stuff on Oasis since the refurb. The question for me is, do you want to see Cats or do you want to see Grease? And however you answer that question, if you want to see Grease, go on Harmony. If you're happy to see Cats, go on Oasis. Yeah, so cruise, I'm seeing you, Heidi. All cruise news, that's not bad, but cruise in news, it's not going to do well with the search engine. It's got to be either the word cruise or cruising, but yeah. What are your must-haves to pack for cruising? I need a tripod. I need my battery chargers. I need extra memory cards. I need to make sure that I've got my microphone. I need my laptop. That's probably not what you're asking. Yeah, so honestly, when it came to clothes, I just did swim trunks, shorts, a bunch of t-shirts. Must pack for cruising. Sunscreen? Look at me. I'm still red in the face and I put on sunscreen. Sunscreen? Yeah, I kind of like that cruise report. I have a tool that gives me a score for search terms. Cruise report doesn't do as well as cruise news, but it does well enough. Did I get a chance to see Phoenix in the music hall? David, I didn't get to see them in the music hall. I watched them do 3 songs in the big theater. And again, I don't know. It was a last minute addition. I feel like they probably were better in the music hall. I never got to the music hall early enough to get a good seat. And they were just, they were good in the theater, right? You can tell they're a great rock band, but I don't think the theater translated that music as well as the smaller club would have. Fancy clothes. So I just bring slacks. So I brought 2 different pairs of slacks, a dark brown and a light brown, and a couple button-up shirts. Like I don't ever wear the jacket or a tank, like a jacket or a tux or anything. I think cruise control is out there already. And again, I don't know that would pull up cruise stuff. I think that would pull up some car stuff. Not very much socks or underwear. I usually take like 3 pair of black underwear, and then when they start to stink, I'll get in the hot tub. That's a joke, but who knows? Question, has Jenny bought you another cold drink, Tony? 3 hours. Yeah, I got nothing going right now. We did get a food delivery, so I probably have some soda out there. Yeah, 3 hours almost. We're going to do 14 minutes, it'll be over. Your daily cruise, that's a good one. Again, I have to see. I'm going to take some of these and throw them in the score, in the keyword score, and see how they do. But especially make some of these comments after the show's over so that they live on. I did buy the domain Tony Talks so that I could do a bunch of different Tony Talks. Lido didn't turn out to be as good a word. Yeah, you got to get in the hot tub to freshen it up. And if you wear black, most of the time the stains don't come through, so it's pretty good. I did one of the first funny videos I ever tried to do was the Man's Packing Guide to Cruising. It's a classic. Go search that on the channel. It was a 2017 thing, and we talk about underpants. Memphis. Yeah, we've been to Memphis a lot. I mean, mostly through Memphis to get to Tunica, but we also, and that's Pamela. We lived in Jackson for a while. When Jenny and I first met, I had left Nashville to take a job, and Jenny lived with us there. We'd go to Tunica, and then the company Jenny worked for had an office on Peabody, and I think it was Peabody or that area of town. I didn't do a lot in Memphis. Like, I've never been down to like whatever's there on Beale Street, but most of the time it was just going through Memphis to get there. Now, let's see. Oh, you guys must have guilted Jenny. I hear the ice machine going. Tennessee. Did you ever meet any celebrities while cruising? Mostly cruising celebrities, if you want to think of it like that. Like on this one, somebody was talking up all kinds of celebrities that I didn't really know. They were saying that the guy who invented Azumi was on board, and I don't know. Like, I met Extraordinary Adventures, which they're pretty much celebrities. That was pretty cool to meet them. No more Lego videos coming out. I just don't have a lot of time to build. Like, I have a whole shelf over here full of stuff to build, but yeah, it's the cruise stuff has taken precedent over that. Did I enjoy getting free Starbucks? Well, David, they didn't have my drink there, unfortunately. I did get a cold brew there, but they didn't have liquid sugar, which kind of messed up my vibe. There's Jenny. That's what I said. Oh, look, she brought me more caffeine. We're going another hour. We got Diet Mountain Dew, y'all. Thank you, baby. Delicious. It was nice getting the free Starbucks, but mostly for Jenny. I would kind of after I'd film, I would go get coffee for her and wake her up a little bit. Kitcher did break her ankle in 2 places at Coco K. It was very sad. I have built plastic models in the past when I was a kid, Steam and Bean. The Steam and Bean. Did I miss somebody's super chat? Eric. Philip. No, I think I got everybody. All right, guys, we got 11 minutes left. Let's get to 400 likes. What are we at? Oh, 1,300 likes. I think we could get to 1,500. Let's go for it. Still 900 of you guys watching. How do you get the free Starbucks? You have to have the drink package. So I had the premium non-alcoholic drink package, and that was there. Funniest cruise story. That's a tough one. I'd have to think on it. I don't know. Can I guzzle that coffee in 11 minutes? I don't think so. I like to take it. Oh, Percy Priest Lake Party Cove. Liz, man, it's been a long time. I used to go there in high school. I went to McGavick. I've spent some time at Percy Priest. I've driven out Priest Lake Drive before. I used to live on Murfreesboro Road, right across from, I think it's a Kroger over there. We got a life. We're a cruise community, Jan. Don't be like that. We're all spending time together. So the Starbucks at the standalone place, Happily Ever Yachty, there's a standalone Starbucks in the middle of the promenade. It's not included in the drink package. But the big change on Wonder is that the Royal Cafe has, now they can make those Starbucks drinks with the same coffee, and that is included there. So it's an interesting thing. McGavick class of 00. I went to McGavick and I graduated 89. Emily Graham. Worked at the Opryland Hotel. I was in Nashville when Opryland still existed. Oh, thank you, Brendan. Yeah, it's been a while since we were live. I just thought we'd do it. When do you think is a good time to go on a new boat? Well, obviously, I don't know because I went at the wrong time. I think it's going to be just checking in and saying, is it fully baked? Maybe a couple months after it's out. Like, you know, maybe the kinks are there. The kinks are out of the way. Don Morris, thank you for the super chat. Shauna Old Hickory. Yep, I know that area too. Now you guys are making me miss Nashville. My friend Jim Brown. All right, 8 minutes left. Any hard-hitting questions? What have we not talked about? We have cruised out of Galveston. We did a group cruise on Halloween, maybe in 2019. We had a great time. Met a lot of nice people. The challenge was it was the same week as the bikers rally. Probably the worst embarkation we ever had was coming off that ship on Galveston. Normally we self-assist, and at that point we gave our bag up and we didn't have a good number. And then we just couldn't get out of the terminal. We couldn't get our bag. We couldn't get out of the terminal. And then when we got out, it was all trafficked up because of the biker thing. And we were driving, and we had to drive like all the way back to North Carolina. And we were trying to drive to Birmingham, and we got a late start. Oh, it was crazy. Don Morris, thank you so much for the super chat. And Liz Nelson, the Lido Loca's cruise vibe. Thank you for the suggestion. Walter's World is in the house. Mark Walters, I only met Mark Walters once, and I got a great story to tell about him. He's a nice guy, and we sat in some sessions together. That's my big Mark Walters story. Make sure you guys check out Walters World. And, you know, the guy earlier that said cruising wasn't travel, at least they'd appreciate Mark's channel because Mark actually does go on some travel. He doesn't cruise. I mean, he's going to go on a cruise, but he travels. Mark, we got to do something together. I miss you, buddy. And I know we don't know each other that well, so that may seem weird, but I felt a kindred spirit with Mark when we met up in Los Angeles. I felt like that Guns N' Roses song. No, the Skid Row song. What is that song? My friends called today. They're down from LA. What is that song? I don't remember that song. But that's how it worked out. I was in LA. I ran into Mark. It felt very rock and roll. Let's see. Yes, we do use the swimming pool when it's warm. It's been very cold. The challenge is our pool sits in the shade, so it takes a while for it to get warm. There's no heater in there. We rent this place. That's why we haven't put our own heater in. In case you need a dock, is the medical care on cruise ships pretty good? I don't know. Fortunately, I've never had to use one. I know that they are required to have medical facilities. Probably not as good as on land. That's why you want to make sure that you have good travel insurance that has evac built into it so that you can get exactly where you need to go for medical care. But yeah. I feel like that's girl don't go away mad, girl just go away, but I don't know. Let's see. Thanks, Lester. Yeah, I know probably didn't get to everybody's questions. Try to throw them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, but... Oh, William Hurt passed. That's sad. Yeah, what a great actor. I've never been to Aruba, so I don't know what the good food is down there, but... oh, you have a recommendation. Yeah, look, the cool thing about Weight Watchers points is that they give you extra each week, and it's all manageable. I get a ton of those, so yeah, have to hook me up. When is Mobile starting back up, and you call those cruises the redneck cruises? I don't know. I mean, look, I'm sure you could call anything you want, but Mobile started back up, and that was my first cruise port, so count me in with the redneck cruises. That's right. The boys are back in town. Have I been on the Horizon? I have not. Yes, no. I've been on the Vista, which was fine. Thank you, Bob. Brady's pretty amazing, though. You got to admit that. I feel like the guy's just a couple years younger than me, and of course he's way more athletic. So it's amazing that the guy can stay that much on top of his game and continue to do what he does. Mardi Gras or Wonder? Gosh. Are we talking about Wonder when all the shows are there? I would probably go Wonder because you're going to get the Aqua Show and the ice skating show, which you would not get on Mardi Gras. So you're going to get the roller coaster on Mardi Gras. That's the debate. I guess you'd have to stack it up. What are you going to get on one that you're not going to get on the other? You're going to get better shows on Wonder. You're going to get the Flow Rider on Wonder. You're going to get Laser Tag on Wonder. On Mardi Gras, you're going to get the roller coaster. So help me make the case. I guess I'm Wonder. There's more on there. Dennis, Denise, I'm not changing the name. I would just like to templatize the daily show. So basically, I've been trying to do a show every day, and it is that. It's a show. I talk about news, and I do commentary, and it's different than a tip video, and it's different than a vlog. It's a show. I kind of model it after the Philip DeFranco show, but I would like to have an official name, and maybe I can get an announcer to announce the show, and maybe I could have graphics that match the show. I just can't decide on the show name. So not changing the channel. The channel will be La Lido Loca, but it might be La Lido Loca Presents, the cruise show, or the daily news, or something. We're just trying to figure out what that is. Let's see. Why does Royal Caribbean get to go to Puerto Rico on my upcoming Carnival cruise canceled? I don't know. There was another ship in there. We saw Seven Seas was there. Mopa. That sounds good. I've had Mofongo in San Juan, which was delicious. How many cruises you and Jenny been on? I'm at 26. I don't know the count. Of course, I've been on some that Jenny weren't on. So 26 would be our biggest number. I'm not sure what her number is. I think it's like 18 or 19. So, and we just started in 2017. So we jam-packed a lot in there with the cruise shutdown. Been on 13 in the last 10 months, which is a lot for me. I know other people are doing quite a bit more, but that still feels like a lot to me. Do you think with Norwegian's set menu, it will make the buffets packed or specialty dining harder to book? Well, I've thought about it since I made that story, and somebody pointed out that who cares, because the local is a banger place to eat anyways, and that's true. Being able to go to the local, you still get to sit down, you still get served, people bring you stuff off a menu. it may be okay. Like if everything on that Norwegian dinner menu is a banger, right? Like if there's 7 great entrees on there and you could go there every night and have something different, or you can bail out of there and go to the local, maybe they're not pushing you to specialty, but it'll be interesting. Like I like the chutzpah, the gumption that they had to say, look, we're not going to make 14 menus anymore. Let's go with this. And they'll be able to test it out on the Prima. So it'll be interesting. Buffet could be packed out. We'll have to see how it plays out. Man, Lori was raised in Nashville, Brentwood, Franklin area. Yes, I used to work in Cool Springs, and the last house we owned was in Brentwood. And I've lived all over Nashville. Other than vlogging, what do you do for work? This is it. I run this media company that's known as Lido, Loca. We have a media company and we have a travel company, and I'm kind of the boss of the media side and the main creative over here, and then Jenny runs our travel business. For the first couple of years, so we're at this 5 years. The first couple of years, we worked 2 and 3 jobs, plus did YouTube to try to get some momentum going. And we just kind of did it as a hobby. We did it because it was fun to create. And then it became really viable as a business. Like when you start to understand what YouTube is as an advertising company and their willingness to partner with people that give them good content to put ads on, it really opened my eyes. It's like, wow, this is a legit small business here. And I guess maybe 2018, we got to a place financially where we could give this thing a go. And it's just onward and upward. So this is it's the best job ever. I mean, this is a better, you know, of course I'm on the hook. I mean, we run small businesses and we run the risk of losing it all, I guess. I don't know. But it's a pretty stable small business, and it's been pretty cool. This is all I do, but we've got a lot of skills. Like if I had to go back into the corporate world, I could do that. I worked on my education so that I could teach, and so there's a lot that we could do. But getting up and that's what people understand. Like, why do you work on the cruise ships? It's like, well, I don't have a vacation plan. Like if I don't make videos, then it just becomes zeros at the end of the month, and I make less money. And so part of the motivation and part of the challenge of being a small business owner is you don't really get time, you don't get vacation pay. You either work and make a product that generates money, or you don't have that money. And so trying to find the balance between all of that and still enjoying cruising, it's a little bit of a challenge. And some people are like, oh yeah, you just do it for the money. It's like, well, why not? If I do just do it for the money, good enough. But the cool thing about this and what we've connected with everybody is the fact is, we create community and we create content and entertainment that helps people. And then at the end of the day, we do get paid for it. So for us, it's a win-win-win. And I feel like for you guys, hopefully it's a win too, that you guys really enjoy the content. So again, you guys are gonna get me in the feels because I've been on here for 3 hours and super grateful. Yeah, so my wife does book cruises for people, and it's not always Jenny. We have a team now. We've grown to the point where we have people that help us. Tinkerbell is part of Team Jenny, and so if you want any help with your cruises, primarily cruises, we dabbled in other travel, but cruises is where it's at for us. We know how to book that the best. So you can send an email to jbarnett@expediacruises.com, and Jenny or part of Team Jenny will reach out and help you with your cruising. Oh, could Jenny put her email there? Let's see. John, does it hurt creatives if I skip ads? So one of our revenue streams is ad revenue. So yeah, the way that YouTube pays from an advertising perspective is they're looking for content that they can place ads on. And when people view those ads, the creators get paid. So certainly one way to support is to, partner with us and watch the advertisers that YouTube is presenting to you. But obviously you don't have to do that. You can skip the ads, but that is part of how we get paid is those ads. Yeah, Shadowcat, it's kind of funny. People are like, do you do this for money? It's like, yeah, oh no, I can make a daily show for zero money and not have to work a job. Come on. Is Jenny connected to an Expedia Cruise Ship Center storefront? She is working with we do work with a partner, a franchisee owner. It's not in the same place as when we started. Maybe Jenny can pop in, but it's somewhere near here. Have you had problems with people talking your ear off or following you around the ship? It's interesting, Lori. Like we have trouble going anywhere in public on the cruise, and you saw it on the Mardi Gras, and of course it continues. It's hard to find the balance, right? And I enjoy the fact that people want to talk to us, but then the thing is, like, you can't. There's no way I could have an hour conversation with everybody. So part of the skills that we've had to develop is how do you make sure that you talk to people that want to talk to you, which everybody is essentially a stranger to me. Like, you know me, so like you know things about my life, but everybody I meet is essentially a stranger to me. So imagine that you're just walking down the street and a stranger walks up to you and wants to talk to you for a half an hour or an hour. What do you do in that scenario? Because that's what we're dealing with. And so, you know, for me, I'm very excited that I get to meet people that know me, but I have to figure out how to navigate, you know, how do I get to dinner on time, or how do I, you know, there's been times on cruise ships where there's just been a line of people that just want to talk. And so it's a good problem to solve, but it's certainly a problem. I'm not looking for anybody's pity. I'm just trying to explain the experience to you. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's very wild. Yeah, we did get to meet Rob and Guga. That was kind of cool. No, so YouTube Premium, we do get part of what you pay for YouTube Premium actually pays creators. And, you know, so it's all good. I wouldn't really like to buy my own cruise ship. I don't want that expense. I'm very happy with the business that I have. It's very little, like we don't have a lot of equipment overhead, you know, camera gear and stuff like. I couldn't imagine owning a cruise ship, and I'm very hesitant to own anything. I get so uptight. Like when the AC broke at our house, I almost had a nervous breakdown. So, yeah, owning a cruise ship, no, nah. How do I partner with others? I'm not sure what that. Oh, like in the travel business. So the franchisee can bring people on and help them and train them, but we're still independent contractors. So we have our own business, but we look at the franchisee from Expedia as our travel partner. Yeah, Sharmi, it's just not that easy. Like you would see, you know, that's an interesting thing to say, that on a cruise that I'm just going on just to go on, that I should commit an hour a day to meet and greet, which is fine, but it still doesn't work. Like, you know, you can't just not acknowledge people that are talking to you. It's again, it's an interesting problem to solve, and it's a good solution, but it wouldn't work. I've never stayed at a well, you know, we did stay at a concierge room, and I don't know what extra we got. Maybe we got some canapes, like our Celebrity Apex, we were in concierge, and we got some stuff. Tina McWilliams, I don't know how media works for Royal. Like, I don't have a contact, a PR contact. Maybe that's on me. I should get a PR contact. I don't know. But part of me likes being able to, you know, because we have the travel business, we're able to get some reduced rates that are for travel agents. But I like the fact that we pay something, right? That we pay money for all of our trips and all of that kind of stuff, because it allows us to freely talk about stuff. Not that people that get free trips don't freely talk about stuff, but it really removes any barriers for me personally to know that I paid my money, and I'll say what I'm gonna say. So let's see. That's an interesting question. So does this live help your channel monetarily more than just a regular video? So certainly during the lives, we're able to get super chats. You've probably seen that. The way super chats work is, you know, that's part of the revenue, but most of the time, like a daily video. And so the live stream is not, once we're not live anymore, the live stream is rarely pushed out as much as a regular uploaded video. And so like a video that gets 50, 60, 70,000 views will generate more revenue than the live stream. But to me, the live stream isn't necessarily about making money. Like certainly the super chats are on and the monetization's on. Like if anybody watches this, they'll get shown an ad. But I like the live stream because, you know, for 3 hours now, we've been able to have a conversation, and I feel connected in a way that I don't with the live video. And so that's why you see people like we live stream once or twice a week, or if we get, you know, a wild feeling, we'll go a few times. It's really not about generating more revenue, but it's about generating connection. For us, the revenue from like YouTube perspective is the daily upload. Elaine, what did we do for 2 years when the ships were docked? Well, oddly enough, I found a very fortunate role to fill for the beginning part of our YouTube career. I think I played the clown. Like, if I go back and I look at the content, I have a lot of different personalities, right? Not in a clinical weird way, but I think all of us have multiple facets of our personality, and part of my personality is to be a ham and to be a clown. And I think if you look at the vlogs and those videos, I think I played the clown a lot. And then if you look at the content we made, I was bringing funny content, that kind of thing. Well, when COVID hit, there was just an onslaught of news that was coming forth, and there were people in the space talking about cruise news. But one of my skill sets in life is to be able to take things that are very complex and distill them down into a way that's more palatable to general audiences. I used to do that for businesses all the time. I used to be the middle person to liaise between upper management and technical people. And so I would get a directive from leadership, and then I would have to break that down and give it to people that were technical, that were doing things. And so it was wild how when COVID hit, that there was a need for that. And I was able to step in and be less of a clown and actually kind of engage all of this crazy information and make it palatable. And that's kind of where the show was born out of. And so it's been an interesting journey for me, and it's a scary proposition going forward. What if that's not important anymore? What if we don't need somebody to distill that information down? So it's trying to balance the serious guy that can do that with the clown and get you guys to watch an 8-minute video every day. That's really my biggest challenge at the moment. Will I consider the Beyond? Sure. Once everything checks out. I did like the Radisson Red, Brad Baker. Not everybody's loving it, but I did like the Radisson Red. So was it on video also? Could you be a nurse on a cruise? Let's see how we're doing. Is everybody still here? Is it time for me to go? That's the question. 852. We lost about 100. All right. We might be running out of time here. Shout out to the business analysts. Those are my last consulting roles. So my last official working for a company role, I was the global infrastructure manager for a Fortune 500, and so I had a team in Asia, a team in Europe, and a team in the US. And then when I got out of that in 2015, I did some consulting. Well, I tried to start an Amazon business, and then I worked for that for a year and a half, and it really didn't generate the results we wanted. And then YouTube hit, and I'm like, all right, well, let me do some consulting for a while until we can figure out how we can really do something with YouTube. And so I was a BA for the last 2 years, and that's all I did was just take data and make it palatable for the banks. Mount Juliet is in the house. What's up, Steve B? Question: I'd really love to get a job selling cruise vacations to people, but didn't go to college. Do I have to have? Do I need more experience? Look, if you want to be a travel agent, the biggest thing, there's a lot of different avenues to be a travel agent. There's online places that you can sign up and pay a little bit of money and start selling travel and get your training. It's about having people or having ideas of how to get to people. So before you become a travel agent, take out a piece of paper and write down 100 people that you know, or 100 groups of people that you know that you could sell a cruise to. Because if you don't have that connectedness with people or a way to be connected with people, it's not going to work. Like, we would have never thought of doing travel. Travel came as an extension to YouTube. All of a sudden, we had a lot of people that were looking for travel help, and we would recommend other people. And then we realized, well, wow, we have this large group of people now that if we were interested in it, we could help people out with their travel. In the absence of that, it's very hard to become a travel agent. And so I just want to level set your expectations. Again, with enough hard work and determination, I think you can get a lot done. But when it comes to selling anything, travel, cars, stuff, when it comes to selling anything, you've got to figure out where your customer base is going to come from. And if you don't have anybody to sell to, it's going to be a long row to hoe. And I hope that helps. We canceled our Greek cruise. Do we have any other European trips planned? No. All we have right now is the Panama Canal, and then we have 6 group cruises. One of those group cruises is to Alaska. We've got a couple group cruises to the Caribbean. Nothing exotic. And so that's what we got to do. What is the world? Yeah. Are you guys ready for me to leave? I can leave. What do I do? What do we do to relax? More cruising, or do you stay on dry land? I don't know. Like I feel like for the last 5 years, it's a daily thing. We've just been in it. There's been times where I'll decompress by building some Lego. I went to the movies yesterday, but I feel like we're living a charmed life. I mean, the fact that we get to interact with you guys and we get to think about travel and cruising. It really is like we're on vacation a lot, but our vacation component includes work. I don't know how to explain it, but we're pretty chill. I mean, the thing is, like, I think our stress levels are really low, right? Like, I have a daily deadline to make the show, and obviously Jenny's got deadlines when it comes to travel, making sure people make payments and calls and staying on hold with crazy long times with the cruise lines. But in the scheme of things, the stress level is pretty low right now. So we're pretty chill a lot. The group cruises are at lalidoloca.com/group cruise. Alaska group cruise is in August on the Encore. I gotta figure out what time that LA Laker show comes on HBO. LA Laker. Yeah, we're making up for the missed live stream. 4 weeks worth. Are you recognized when you're out, and how do you deal? Again, I feel super. It's great for the ego, right? Like if I'm being completely honest, one of the reasons I create stuff is I want people to watch it and like it. And in an extension of that is I want people to like me. And again, it goes back to the whole ego conversation. But yeah, yesterday at the movies, like I said, I rolled into the movie theater and there was a couple from Inverness that recognized me, and it was a very pleasant exchange. Are you Tony? Yes, I'm Tony. We watch your show. Oh, great. It's very nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. I was so excited to be recognized there in the movie theater. And again, look, the thing, like it's a weird thing. They know me, I don't know them. It was a perfect interaction. They said they liked the show. I said thank you. We had a moment. I always leave an opportunity if somebody wants to take a picture. That's great because I don't talk to people very long anyways. And so the only time it comes a challenge for me is like if you want to talk to me for 15 or 20 minutes, I'm not good at that. Like I'm really not, I'm barely interested in my own thoughts. And so it's really hard for me to carry on an extended conversation, especially if I have to go somewhere or something like that. But I love the 5-minute interaction, that kind of thing. And some people are great with that and some people are not great with that. And that's the hardest part. It's like, how do you make sure the person that wants to hang out with you an hour a day, feels satisfied? But honestly, I can't hang out for an hour a day. So that's the biggest nut to crack. Again, it's weird. Like, again, the only thing I can challenge you to do is imagine the next time you go to Subway or something like that, somebody walks up to you that knows you, that you don't know, and they want to talk to you for a half an hour. What do you do in that situation? These are the situations that we're trying to navigate, and we don't have a lot of experience navigating them. So it's interesting. Question: would you consider doing a cruise at least from Los Angeles? Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do when we get off of the when we get off of the Panama Canal cruise. We're looking to figure out something that we could do out of LA. Brendan, thank you so much for the super chat. $5 super chat challenge. Thanks for all the content. Joined your Patreon about a year ago and always look forward to the live streams. Thank you so much, Brendan. Yeah, if you guys want, I'll make a plug for the Patreon. Right now, we have 2 levels on our Patreon. For $5, you get an extra live stream, and there's only about 40 people in there, so you really get all your questions answered in most of those live streams. And then there's a $10 level where we send postcards. So when we came home, we just came back to and we pre-make the postcards, right? So we'll take a picture from our trip and we'll print them out and we'll write a message on them and we'll sign the postcards. And so that's what we do on Patreon. It's a little extra content. If you want to support the channel that way, again, we're putting out free content every day, so it's not a big deal. But sometimes people are like, how can we do something extra? Patreon.com/LaLidoLoca. Definitely a way if you want to do that. Question: how did you see the carnival meetup outside of Nassau? I didn't see it personally. I saw some pictures of it. It looked pretty cool. I can't wait to talk to some of my friends that were on it to see if it was really kind of cool. But yeah, it was neat. We saw the ships leaving Nassau, and then when you looked out there, you could see them all gathered together. Winnie Brazil, thank you so much for the super chat. She's super chatty. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I mean, it is true, right? Like, in my own head, my thoughts just go all over the place in a short period of time, and so it is kind of hard. Star Wars Land at Disneyland's worth the effort. Ooh, that looks nice. Yeah, I tell you what, I want to go to the Griffin Observatory in LA because I've seen that a lot. I went to Disneyland in the 80s when we were singing. We sang at Disneyland, and then I rode the Matterhorn and all that stuff. I don't know, there's some interesting stuff. The last time I was in LA, I went for, well, not, but last time I was in LA, I was there for the conference, but I went for a solar conference and I rode up the PCH and did all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. We want to go to Vegas. I want to see some stuff. We got to make a plan. We're just trying to take a few days down. Like, I know I'm saying I'm trying to take time off, but I'm making videos every day and doing 4-hour live stream. But tomorrow I need to wake up, make the show, and then spend tomorrow afternoon really making a plan for what the next 6 weeks look like. We got to do like the administrative stuff. It's tax time, all that stuff. So pretty interesting. Winnie Brazil, thank you for the super chat. Tina McWilliams, thank you for the super chat. And Kit O'Shea, we got a laughing emoji. Thank you so much for the super chat. The question is anybody going to watch a 3-hour replay? The watch time on the replay will be like, the average watch time will be like 4 minutes. And YouTube will be like, we're not showing this replay to anybody. People are only watching it for 4 minutes. One of the reasons we just do a 1-hour live stream is on the 1-hour live stream, people will usually watch the replay on that for 20 minutes. And that seems okay. Like, we will continue to get views into the next day because people are watching it 20 minutes. It's going to be interesting to see the data on this one. This thing will probably fall right off the shelf. Whatever the views are at the end of the show, I'd be surprised if we get a ton more. But again, I'm glad. Let's see. Oasis of Seas have bumper cars. I did not. Oasis. I don't know if Oasis does. So I know that that's a quantum class. Anyone that's got the C-Plex, so like the Spectrum and the Odyssey bumper cars. But I don't know if I've seen bumper cars on the Oasis. Thoughts on the Prima class? I don't have any. I know there's a lot of cool new stuff coming. I don't know yet. But a great question. But yeah, I haven't really researched it much. Yeah, definitely. I would love to have a channel, Steven Z. I would love to have a channel like Just Don. Again, I'm struggling for a name. So I got Have to Lose, which I haven't been able to update too much because we were cruising. But I don't want my second channel just to be weight loss. And Have to Lose has to be weight loss. And there's a lot of people getting it done over there. And I'm so excited for the people that are inspired by Have to Lose. So Have to Lose, the cadence I want to get to that is like 1 or 2 videos a week, a weigh-in video, and then some other kind of video. But I would love to have a place where I could just be like the Almond Band, where I could just be a rambling man. And I still got to come up with a name. Just Tony's not bad. I've talked to Don about making that, but maybe that's too close to Don. So maybe I just do a Tony Barnett channel. I've got a Tony Barnett channel, but would you guys watch a channel of me talking about non-cruise stuff? I don't think a lot of people would, but maybe some would. I don't know. Which cruise line do I prefer? The next one is usually my answer to that question. If I was forced to only cruise one cruise line for the rest of my life, I'd probably cruise Royal just for the entertainment. Just for the entertainment. Good question. Patricia Myers, do we take a cruise just for ourselves? Yeah, like this one on the Wonder was just for ourselves, and the one on the Apex was just for ourselves, and but we're not anonymous is the only challenge, right? So everyone that we take for ourselves, it's still like almost being there for everybody else. So Kimmy and the one old guy, thank you so much for the super chat.
Super chat.
The website for the group is lalidoloca.com/group cruise. Group cruise. Do I see the vax mandate being dropped this year or next? Kevin, I haven't really seen any big signals from anybody. I don't know. Like, I think the cruise lines will do it. I think the cruise lines are constantly running a number that, they put out surveys. I think they're trying to figure out how many people they're actually turning off by making the vaccine mandate. And then on the flip side of that, there's probably a lot of people that won't want to cruise if there's not a vaccine mandate. So they're trying to work that balancing act of figuring out what's the bigger number of people that are being upset or disadvantaged or not being able to cruise because of the current rules. I'm sure at some point they're going to figure that out in a way where everybody can cruise. I'd be surprised if there's no vax mandate this year. I mean, there's still a lot of time this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if all of 2022 still has a vax component on it. I don't know if they'd ever go to vax cruises and non-vax cruises. That seems like a lot of work. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I like Just Tony, but again, I don't want Don to feel, and I don't know if Don's still out there, but we talked about it. I mean, that is like it's so recognizably Don right now. I'd hate to, I don't want to jump in on that just idea. I thought random Tony, but then at the same time, I don't like the way that sounds. It sounds too disconnected, and I want it to be a little more serious than that. Totally Tony. I noticed a lot of repeat items on the main dining room menu. Is this a new trend? No, I think it is the new trend. Like Norwegian very specifically said they're not going to have different menus. They're just going to have one menu. So it could be the new trend. We thought about the Tony B show too because Jenny B has the Jenny B show. Good night, Tina McWilliams. Thanks for being here. All right, I'm doing 6 more minutes and then I'm done. How long is that? Have I been on for an hour yet? Amika, have a good night. The life of Tony B. Yeah, it can't sound too important. Like we want to get strangers in here too. So maybe just my name. I don't know. But now, of course, Tony Barnett is also the name of a baseball player. Yeah, Lobster T. That's too inside pool. We gotta draw the strangers in also. All right. Any burning questions? We'll be back. We'll be live again on Thursday. We'll have the Patreon show at 8 o'clock for patrons, and then we'll have the big show at 9 o'clock. So make sure you guys set your calendar for that. I don't know if Norwegian will ever have a lobster night, Lori. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm sure lobster might be a component on the new menu. Did I say Thursday? Tuesday? Live on Tuesday? I don't know what day it is. MSC cruises in the future? Nothing scheduled. I mean, we've done 3 in the past. I'd like to be on the seashore. There could be a live on Thursday this week, but it's Tuesday. Sorry, everybody pay attention. Tuesday. Jenny B likes the Tony B show. Bing, 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 bing. There's a lot of YouTube education people out there, Ralph. I'm actually working more on a course instead of having a dedicated channel, maybe a 10 video course. I'm trying to get it ready actually by the, but I don't want to commit to a date, but yeah, there's a lot of people doing YouTube education. I think I'd rather do something where I just talk about things other than that. Good night, Virginia. Lobster. Ooh, I don't know what's for dinner. Jenny, where's my dinner? Jenny. Let's see if she'll say whatty. Jenny. Dark theme, that ship's easy to explore in just a day or two. You know, pick a day and just do the top decks, and then pick a day and do deck 5, and then you're good. Go to some stuff on 4. It's easy peasy. Tony at large. Tony's take, that's a nice one. I actually do like Tony's takes. It could be both. All right. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate all the love, all the super chats, all the thumbs up, everybody popping in. Man, let me just say this. Are you watching on replay? If you made it this far, please leave a comment below. That would be very interesting to see if anybody made it this far on replay. But no, hey, I'm really glad to catch up with you guys. It's been a great few weeks of cruising for me. Again, we're tired. I'm just trying to be honest about where we're at going forward. And I think you guys appreciate that level of honesty. But yeah, it's that cruise life, y'all. What are you gonna do? You just gotta keep on keeping on. But I hope everybody's doing good out there, and I hope that life is treating you well. And I hope that you guys are having positive thoughts for people out there. So thank you guys so much for checking in. Appreciate all the love. And happy Sunday, a happy week ahead. Remember, jump down in the comments and leave your names for the second channel and for the Cruise News Show. I would love to hear what you think. My name's Tony. Jenny is in the chat. And until we're Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.